99.9% of its original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health. Make sense? To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
Wow, we've been doing a lot of roofs.
And we're ready to do yours. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson from Crumweedy. Okay, say it. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
Remember that when you need repair or when you need a new roof.
It's so important to choose your roofing company wisely.
Here's our pitch.
Installation. It's the ballgame.
We follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact. Most roofing companies don't do that.
When we give you a quote, we give you good, better, and best options. You decide.
And we're not going anywhere.
We're a third-generation family business. 65 years of doing great roofs.
We run the company on good, conservative values.
For any roofing problem or need, call your roofing guys, Crumweedy.
Do we have any special offers? Sure. Just ask. We'll take care of you.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com.
When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Whether it's a monthly challenge to meet your goals, a training program for your next race, or setting a new personal best, the Peloton bike will make you want to show up and keep climbing the live leaderboard year-round. Learn more about the Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom.
5:11 and a check on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
On Chicago's north side, there's a crash in the Lincoln Park area on Clark Street at Webster. South side, buses have been rerouted early this morning. The area around 79th Street between Ashland and Racine. Caution in that area. Expressways and tollways look pretty good at this hour. You see no delays on the Edens, Kennedy, the Eisenhower, the Stevenson, or the Bryan. No significant congestion yet on 190 at O'Hare. Expect some airport traffic this morning. The Eisenhower, the Stevenson, and the Bryan are good. Same goes for I-57, the Bishop Ford Freeway. Northwest Indiana, ramp from southbound Klein Avenue. Eastbound 8094 is closed again. Clean up a mess from last week. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer is next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Breezy and not as cool. Rain ending this afternoon, the high 53. Partly cloudy tonight, low 37. Strong winds developing tomorrow, a couple of morning showers. Then times of clouds and sun, the high tomorrow at 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare, 39 along the lakefront, and this morning, 42 in Aurora. Our next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday mornings at 6 a.m.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Really know how to hurt a guy. Dan and Amy, good morning. And a question, and I'm asking for 60,000 of my friends over at Soldier Field yesterday. Does Cody Parkey kick with magnetized balls?
Yeah, because the sixth time that he hit the upright, but then this time he hit the upright and then he hit the crossbar, and I thought it was going to bounce back, and it bounced forward, and everybody cried.
I can't describe this any better than it was described by the announcers on Spanish radio.
All right.
This was a moment that transcends the language barrier.
Pie de Cody Parkey. 43 yardas. El snap. Le mete el pie. Distancia, dirección. Le dio el poste. ¡No! ¡Falló! ¡Oh! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡Los Eagles se van con la victoria! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡Chicago! ¡Chicago! ¡Nos vamos para New Orleans! ¡Filadelfia gana el partido! ¡Le dio al poste!
The translation to that is he missed it.
Well, no, senor. Does that mean no way? Like, no way, no way, no, senor, no, senor.
Look, these guys make soccer sound
great.
exciting. So an actual exciting play like that.
But then he broke out in a song. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Oh, most hated man in Chicago this morning? Corey Parkey?
Cody Parkey.
Or that guy?
Yeah, exactly.
No, because he is going to change his name to Corey Parkey.
I was at the game.
You went to, lucky dog.
Yeah.
Did you sit in the Cadillac Club?
No.
With your fancy friends?
There is no Cadillac Club anymore, which shows how recently you've been to a game.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I sat outdoors with the hoi polloi.
Oh,
Good man of the people that I am.
Did you wear your loafers with no socks?
Natalie attired, of course, because that's
Uh-huh.
what you do for a football game. Get dressed up
Right.
in your Sunday best.
Well,
But
that's what they used to do.
it was a little cold, so I left.
Did you? You did not leave.
No, I did leave.
You left early?
Yeah, I left early.
But it was
know,
pretty much a close game the whole time. Why are you such a pansy?
well, I figured, it's going to take 40 minutes to get out of here, then get a
Oh, yeah.
car. So I'll just beat the crowds.
You could have taken a rickshaw home.
It was a nice night for a rickshaw.
Just put a blanket in front of your
Yeah, a
head.
nice night for a divvy ride.
Well, he's not suicidal. Or Cody? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I feel terrible. Let the team down. That's on me. So I have to own it. I have to be a man, and it's unfortunately that's the way it went today. I'm gonna continue to put things in perspective. Continue to just put my best foot forward and just sleep at night knowing that I did everything in my power this week to go and make that kick. And for whatever reason, at the crossbar and the upright, and I still couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
who
he
are
made
you going to blame? The upright?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
upright, so it's all the upright's fault. But I mean, if the
When did they
Eagles
put that there?
If they hadn't called that timeout, he made the first kick. He made the first 43-yarder, and then called a timeout to ice him out, and I guess it worked. Good coaching.
Yeah,
I'm going to learn from this.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, one commentator back in Game 16 suggested pull the starters, lay down for the Vikings, because there's no way Minnesota comes to Soldier Field and gets out alive. And Kirk Cousins would have not performed last night the way that Nick Foles did. And they could have chosen that path. But instead, they got a hot Philadelphia team with a Super Bowl
wild card team, right?
quarterback, Super Bowl cowboy quarterback, and Nick Foles, and did just enough to win.
Cowboys won, Chargers won, Colts won. It's all the wild card teams.
Cowboys were
Cowboys?
division champs.
Oh, they except for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But the Colts and the Chargers. No, the Chargers?
Oh, yeah, right, because Kansas City was the
Yeah.
Kansas City was the
Yeah,
division
yeah.
champ there.
But I was expecting everyone to go to L.A. this coming weekend. Now no one's going.
Well, you can still go. It's just Cody Parkey won't be coming with you.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share, and Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join Medi-Share anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-BIBLE-11. That's 855-BIBLE-11. 855-BIBLE-11.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can
Call Grumweedy.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies. And the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact. And many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
Imagine doing one thing that gives you an entirely different perspective about your place in the world. Think it would be worth it? Dennis Prager here, inviting you to join me for a 10-day Stand with Israel tour, a tour through the land of Israel in December 2019. Come with me to get firsthand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. Walk the ancient temple steps, sail on the Sea of Galilee, and so many more unforgettable moments. Return home inspired, renewed, and empowered. If you've ever dreamed of seeing Israel, this is your opportunity. With expert guides and important lectures at key sites, we'll be together in the comfort and safety of luxurious accommodations the whole time. Join me for a life-changing adventure to give you a renewed sense of purpose.
Purchase the travel experience of a lifetime at 560theanswer.com/Israel. And be sure to choose AM 560 when you register. That's 560theanswer.com/Israel.
Get up and go. It's Apple Vacation's great winter event. Non-stop fun, adventure, sun-soaked beaches. Escape to your favorite tropical destination. It's all available now. Save hundreds, but hurry, the best hotels and prices won't last. 3 nights of unlimited luxury in Cancun at Secrets Playa Mujeres Golf and Spa Resort start from only $879. Or make it 7 nights at Rio Palace Costa Mujeres starting from just $1099. And with Apple Vacations, it's all included. Non-stop round-trip air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Call Carey Travel Express at 847-639-3300 or visit careytravelexpress.com to book your trip today. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select exclusive vacation flights from O'Hare to Cancun on Frontier starting February 10th and include taxes and fees including September 11th security fee. Some flights are operated by other airlines. Baggage charges apply. See applevacations.com. Prices subject to availability and change. Restrictions apply.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
AM 560, The Answer.
Pie de Cody Parkey. 43 yardas. El snap. Le mete el pie. Distancia, dirección. Le dio el poste. ¡No! ¡Falló! ¡Oh! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor!
No, señor's got to be a meme that goes viral. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's got to mean no way.
That is one of the great.
Way. No, senor.
That's right. I mean, that's one of the great calls. That's right up there with Dick Enberg's "Oh My." I mean, that is no senor. I love that. All right, can't play enough of that. That, of course, describing Cody Parkey's clank. Kevin Rooney tweeting in.
Yes.
Cody Parkey originally wanted to be a lawyer, but he couldn't pass the bar.
Oh. Did you see the meme that was going around with him and the bird box thing? He's kicking the ball with the blindfold on. That was a good one. My kids thought that was funny.
Bird Box is like, what's the hysteria of Bird Box? I saw it.
I watched it too. I told Justin I was too afraid to watch it, but I watched it in the daylight on Saturday, and because I get so creeped out at movies like that. That was a good movie. That was suspenseful.
That's solid.
It was great.
Solid.
Well, the thing is that everybody's blindfolding themselves and then walking through parking lots and trying to find their way through their houses.
Oh, good.
And falling and hurting themselves.
Perfect.
I wonder why.
Life imitating art, imagine. Jim in Crown Point, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, that movie reminded me of a game we used to play, Pin the Tail on the Donkey. But
Yes, right, yes.
You know, that announcer sounded like my wife on our honeymoon, but that's beside the point.
Hi-oh.
You know, they should have what they do for next year. Corey and Bartman can ride together because Corey's not going to be on the Bears, and they can sit and watch the games. And the 49ers had this kicker. I think his name was Robbie Gould.
Yes, Robbie Gould, yes, that kicker.
He would have been let's go on the cheap and shoot ourselves in the foot.
Well, yeah.
I think Robbie Gould
Thanks
could
for
have
the
made
call,
that
Jim.
kick.
Well, he's made 82 of the last 85 kicks he's tried since he left the Bears. So that's pretty good percentage.
But he made a disparaging remark against Virginia, and then but that ruined it. And that's what I heard was they were hell bent on getting rid of him then because you don't
cash. It was cash too. A lot of money for a kicker. You figure you can replace him. And again, in terms of the argument that the Bears were penny wise and pound foolish with respect to getting rid of Gould. I mean, they did pick up Khalil Mack's contract.
That's true.
So, I mean, they did spend money this year, which is something that is very un-McCaskey-like. And look, it paid dividends. Maybe they'll continue that trend. All right, we've got a real treat here. By the way, I think Cody Parkey is under contract. So they're going to cut him and pay him out for another kicker? I don't know.
He's 26 years old. He's young.
I think Cody Parkey, if he doesn't try to pass the bar, is going to be back next year to kick.
Too soon.
A very special call coming up right here. We don't get this very much because he's not allowed to leave his butter churning station but twice a year to make a phone call with the two tin cans, one that is wired into this studio, and the other out Huntley Way where the Amish Texter lives. Amish Texter, a pleasure.
Wow.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back. Are you sure the source of that recording? To me, that sounded exactly like Mexican restaurant owner last time that J.B. Pritzker showed up at the buffet.
Hi-oh! Thank you, Amish Texter.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer. Larry Elder believes we can find the money for the wall.
Since its inception in 2016, Amtrak has received $71 billion in taxpayer-funded grants. $71 billion. And you don't think we have enough money for the wall?
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
Oh, no colds, no flu, lots of energy, just overall well-being. It's just if I stop taking it, I see the difference. I would never stop with these. I would keep them on hand always.
Well, I got more energy for sure. I don't feel the same if I don't take this every day. I think it's improved my life greatly because I was feeling real sluggish before, sluggish and tired. I had like this brain fog. It's all gone now. I've been taking this stuff and I feel like I have the energy of an 18-year-old with the looks of a 30-year-old, and I'm 50. It's crazy. This stuff is crazy. I love it.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
You're losing business to online companies. Competitors are using social media to rob you of sales. If your current website is 5 years behind the times or even one, contact us at Salem Surround. Digital marketing that surrounds potential customers with your message wherever they engage, search, surf, socialize, or review. We offer a free analysis of your digital marketing effectiveness and suggest methods that could dramatically increase bottom line. Salem Surround takes the mystery of digital marketing off your shoulders, letting you do what you do best. Run your business while we deliver customers. Is your business taking full advantage of digital communication to reach more people? Are your competitors ahead of you? Now, there are no limitations on where you can reach customers with Salem Surround. Total market penetration for increased ROI. Learn more by logging on to surroundchicago.com. Surroundchicago.com, connecting you with new customers.
AM 560, The Answer.
I still think Robbie Gould would have made that kick.
So does everybody. Yeah.
So I'm not unique in my analysis.
No, I don't think that's in dispute. Unfortunately, he's in San Francisco, and I'm sure Robbie Gould feels the same way to some extent. All right, I heard while I was away that Latino community leader Ed Burke has come upon some legal trouble. Is that right?
Yeah, he stepped in it a little bit.
We've looked at some of Ed Burke's financial backers. A lot of focus on the recipients of Ed Burke's largesse, although he sort of, his thimble runneth over, generally speaking. That's how he had an almost $10 million war chest for just a city council member. But we looked at some of the financial backers, and we want to talk about what that means about Chicago's political culture, how Ed Burke came about all of his money, and also pose the question to you. Ed Burke's convicted? Does anything change? So at 5:38.
But first, let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
41 degrees. It's 5:30 on AM 560, The Answer. Morning, everyone. Bears kicker Cody Parkey banged a tipped field goal off the upright and crossbar with 5 seconds left. Eagles hold on for a 16-15 wildcard win here in Chicago. An attempted military coup in Gabon is over. Spokesperson for the government in the West African nation says that 4 rebels had been arrested. A 5th is being sought. Charges may be brought against a second suspect in the shooting death of a 7-year-old Houston girl. 20-year-old Eric Black was formerly charged with capital murder Sunday, a week to the day that Jasmine Barnes was killed. Barnes' father, Christopher Sevilla, says he's starting to feel relief.
Now my baby has got justice, and now we can properly put her to rest without having to put her to rest and be still on a manhunt looking for suspects.
Barnes was struck by gunfire at a stoplight when bullets sprayed her family vehicle in a case of mistaken identity. Houston police have been looking for a white man. Eric Black is African American. Small town in Georgia is being evacuated after a train derailment and chemicals spill. Train derailed between 8:30 and 9 Sunday night near Bartow. That's about 80 miles east of Macon. Hydrochloric acid has been leaking. Kurdish forces in Syria are holding 2 American men who were caught fighting with ISIS. Syrian Democrat forces took them into custody during an operation to root out a group of terrorists supposedly planning attacks. The third longest government shutdown in U.S. history, now in day 17. President Trump continues to insist on border wall funding. Senator Dick Durbin says an end is not near.
Well, I can't say that we're close because the president's made it clear he doesn't care.
Meantime, the Illinois Democrat responding to acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney saying the president is determined to find other funding for the border wall.
Presidents have authority to defend the nation. The president has asked every single cabinet secretary and the Office of Management and Budget to go out and find money that can be used legally to guard the southern border.
Democrat leaders insist on legislation to reopen the government before they talk about money for a wall or barrier. Fierce winter storm is dumping misery on the West Coast. Washington State reporting more than 300,000 power outages over the weekend, and mudslides have closed the Pacific Coast Highway. Candidate for mayor, Chicago Mayor Toni Preckwinkle is trying to distance herself from Alderman Ed Burke after he was charged with attempted extortion last week. The Cook County Board president said last night she's returning $116,000 raised at a campaign fundraiser at Burke's home last January. Preckwinkle also says she's starting to remove Burke as chair of the Cook County Democrat Party Judicial Slating Committee. She herself is refusing to say she did anything wrong, while her office continues to be mired in controversy. United Airlines this morning banning emotional support animals on long flights. Beginning today, the Chicago-based airline will ban the emotional support animals on flights longer than 8 hours. Blackhawks beat the Penguins 5-3. Bulls fell to the Nets 117-100. Northwestern, a Big Ten basketball win over the Fighting Illini, 68-66. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Under President Trump.
Americans are talking about the crisis at the border in a way that we've never talked about it before. We're having a conversation about all of this in a way that we never had in the past and in a way that we never would without the election of Donald Trump, without his impetus, without his leadership.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Sheet metal is a big part of commercial and industrial facilities. Look around your business and you'll quickly notice how many components use sheet metal. From fan systems and hoods to machinery guards and much more. For top quality sheet metal work, get to know the pros at Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial sheet metal contractor that can fabricate all types of alloys up to 1-inch plate. We perform jobs including chutes, hoppers, stacks, siding, and dust collection. We work in material handling facilities including steel, chemical, agricultural, food processing plants, and more. Vans Industrial can also design and perform the engineering for a complete turnkey installation. Our quality work is installed by trained mechanics who will work closely with you to make sure the job is done right.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
I'm Dan Proft.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
And if you're a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then listen up.
Once again, our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway to raise money for children suffering from poverty in Haiti. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children this year.
And here's how your business can be a part of this. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor, and AM 560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. One more time, 847-472-8951.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
5:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Traffic is starting to build a bit on the expressways and tollways. We're not seeing any significant delays yet on 190 at O'Hare, but that will likely be coming soon. Appears to be a busy morning at Chicago's airports. 8094 eastbound, the entrance ramp from southbound Klein Avenue has been closed again after a big fat spill from a semi last Wednesday. It's true, and this ramp is still shut down for the cleanup effort. 8094 itself, main lanes are just fine. We're not seeing any issues or delays. Eden, Kennedy, Eisenhower, and Stevenson, all delay free for now. Getting a little congestion inbound Stevenson around Cicero. Inbound Ryan, a little congested approaching downtown. Bishopport, a little tight approaching Verge. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Rain ending in the early afternoon. Breezy, not as cool, high 53. Currently 42. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Townstone Financial. Let Townstone.com show you how to pay off high-interest credit cards by using your home's value.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and the question for your consideration and reaction is, if Ed Burke is convicted on federal corruption charges, will that change one damn thing in Chicago? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. How serious is the legal jeopardy in which Burke finds himself? The old man took to Facebook on Friday.
He's so hip and cool with the kids, Dan.
He's got a message to all of you out there, all of his friends and supporters, donors, extortion victims, potential legal defense fund contributors. He didn't do it.
By now, I'm certain that you've learned of yesterday's events. I want you, my friends and supporters, to know that I fully intend to seek re-election. And I am hopeful that you and my many friends will continue to do the work you've already been doing. I appreciate your help and your support, and I want you to know that my family and I want you and your family to have a healthy and wonderful new year.
Oh my
May God bless you and your families.
Oh, thanks so much, Uncle Ed.
Well, he has 4 Hispanic competitors, and I think that this might be I think he's done. I think he might be toast after this. Stepping down as a chairman of the financial committee that happened during the show on Friday. And Mayor Emanuel was hailing Ed Burke as a hero for this valiant decision that he made.
And I believe this reflects his affection for the city and his deep respect for the institution of the city council.
An institution worthy of deep respect. There's no question that this legal imbroglio, federal indictment, is a reflection on Ed Burke's affection for the city and respect for the city council. There's Tiny Dancer. Remember, he was one of those independent reformers you hear so much about. I was coming into town about 2011 to shake things up, to speak truth to power, to make the tough decisions. And even on his way out the door, which had one more government succubus in charge here for a period of time, is providing professional courtesy to one of the thieves in the den in which Tiny Dancer lives as well. I think that's touching.
That's so sweet.
It's really nice.
Yeah, and Tony Preckwinkle, who was the recipient of this alleged dirty money, because Burke had a fundraiser for her when she was running for Cook County Board President at his home. He personally gave her $10,000. She said she gave that back. But people want to know, are you going to give back the other money?
This isn't a complicated.
Will you return all of the money raised from the fundraiser that Ed Burke held for you?
To be determined.
Okay, when? Here's the thing.
Does that even matter?
There's so much obsession about this $10,000 that Preckwinkle was the beneficiary of per
the shakedown.
Burke's extortion, alleged extortion. I mean, so she gives the money back. So what? What is that? Does that absolve her? Does that cleanse her of a relationship with Burke? I mean, the obsession, this is all inside baseball, cheap politics. Susanna Mendoza decrying the $10,000 that Tony Preckwinkle got and her effort to conceal it and her indecision with respect to returning it. So what? So she returns it. Oh, by the way, is she going to fire Ed Burke's son as well that she put on the county payroll for $100,000?
Oh, really? Well, she thinks,
I mean, but you see what they're doing? This, like, if you give the donation back, then somehow you've eliminated the storied relationship that you've had with the person in question. It eliminates nothing. I don't care if she gives the money back or not. Preckwinkle, another one of these independent reformer goo-goos from Hyde Park. Bull jive. Political hack, wholly owned subsidiary for the public sector unions for the last 25 years, including her tenure as Cook County Board President, and now we're going to pretend that she doesn't know Ed Burke if she gives the money back, and the other people giving the money back, Susanna Mendoza among them, they don't know Ed Burke. Bill Daley doesn't know Ed Burke. They don't have any relationship. They're not part of the same cabal. Give me a break.
One person that does feel victimized by this alleged dirty money, Dan, is Bob Fioretti, who I forgot he ran against her for Cook County Board President.
She was on the receiving end of the money that Ed Burke allegedly extorted from the Burger King owner. And that money was used against me in the Cook County Board President's race.
Yeah, okay, Bob. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Same thing, Mendoza, for your race, do the same thing. Bob, get a grip. You were on the city council. What'd you do to take on Ed Burke? What'd you do to remove this ridiculous security detail from him? Did you speak out against Ed Burke in all your time on the city council? I mean, let's just be honest here. $10,000. Tony Preckwinkle didn't need Ed Burke's $10,000 to beat Bob Fioretti in that primary. It was
now
not a
she-
close race.
And she wants to distance herself now from Ed Burke. Just take a listen to this.
It's clear he can no longer uphold the integrity of
Yeah,
public
blah, blah,
office
blah,
and should
blah.
step down from his
Exactly.
role as alderman immediately.
I mean, who buys this stuff from these people? The Tribune, Tony Preckwinkle hired Ed Burke's kid to a $100,000 a year job in 2014. Ed Burke Jr., training and exercise manager for the county's Homeland Security and Emergency Management Department, Tribune reporting.
That's a nice job.
You think,
What qualifies him to have that kind of position?
what do you think it is?
Homeland Security, the last name.
Exactly.
The B and then the E at the end.
And now Preckwinkle is aghast. I'm saddened and disappointed, and he has no place in city, county. Come on.
But the
This is
arrogance of him, though.
This is all kabuki theater. Does anybody buy this? And the answer is yes, they do. A lot of people. Most people in Chicago are going to buy the preening that you're getting from these politicians because they understand something that people who actually pay attention, who have firing synapses, who truly have affection for the city, understand, which is the people in the electorate, the majority electorate, has no institutional memory or any particular concern to have institutional memory. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text
But
line.
the arrogance of him, though, to run again for a 13th term. I mean, as if we'll get through
He's
this.
just getting
We've
started.
been through this before, Dan. This isn't my first investigation. I mean, that's the thing. It's. I do really think he's going to win.
He'll probably win he'll probably make it to the runoff.
Okay.
There's a reason there's 4 Hispanic candidates. How many were put up by Burke?
Oh.
I mean, right, his ward now is a majority Latino ward, but again, he is a storied Latino community leader, too.
He does speak a little Spanish. He was trying.
Un poco.
Maybe he was working on the call, with those Spanish radio guys when Corey, what's his name? Cody Parkey.
Yeah,
missed the field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's something else about Ed Burke that I think is illuminating. We looked at his donors. This is at ChicagoCityWire.com. I'll tweet it out.
Tweet it out. I want to read.
There's an interesting thing about his top donors. There's no mega donors here. I mean, there's mega donors in terms of their personal wealth, but not in terms of their giving to Burke. And it's really important. Burke's 60 top donors, including lobbyists, liquor store owners, billionaires, work comp lawyers, they've given him $965,000 since 1999.
What?
So, the remarkable thing about that is how unremarkable that number is over the course of 20 years from 60 people that have that kind of interest in city business or that kind of giving power. And you know what it speaks to? You just cut Burke in on everything. Every little deal, like the stupid Burger King renovation. Not stupid to the owner.
Right, but stupid that he would hold them up for that kind of cash. Hold up the project.
But
yank the permits.
But it's not stupid. He's like, why would he do that? Why would? Because that's what he's done for 50 years.
Right. This time he got caught. Right. I mean, he's been doing it.
But it's the little things. It's not the big deals. Everybody wants to focus on Amazon or bringing in some big corporate headquarters. And meanwhile, the practitioners of the dark arts of politics in office, in control of this city and state, like Burke and Madigan, it's a little bit at a time. I don't need to get. I don't need to be a hog. I need to be a pig. I need to be a pig. Just cut me in. It's $5,000 here and $10,000 there, and you spread that over for whether it's property tax appeals or it's or it's permit expediting, like in this Burger King case. All of the different shakedowns, and $5,000 here and $10,000 here, spread over the hundreds of clients that you force your way into signing on with you. Boy, that adds up to real money, especially over time. That's how Burke puts together a $9 million war chest, being one of 50 city council members, the finance committee chairman notwithstanding. That speaks to the political culture. Every little thing that you do, the little guys that get fleeced. Forget, Melman and Let Us Entertain You, big restaurant outfits. Every restaurant, every gas station, every small business, every property tax appeals, Burke gets the skim. And that adds up to real money. So How could Burke get taken down by this, relatively minor deal of a renovation of a Burger King in his ward? Because that's what he's done for 50 years. And by the way, there are many more like him who have amassed great wealth or just some wealth doing the same thing in public office. That's the kleptocratic political culture. And if you don't understand that part of it, then you're not seeing Chicago for what it is.
So on an ancillary issue, does Alderman Pat O'Connor, who's now the new Finance Committee chair, does he get the security detail now? Is his life in danger?
Yeah,
Because I kept looking, I wanted to see, because I remember when Rob Blagojevich got impeached. I will never forget, because I was on his front lawn, with a bunch of reporters.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. And the state police who were guarding him, it seemed so violent. They took the car seat out of the kids and just threw it on the lawn. And then they hightailed out of there because they were done. No more security detail for him.
Right. You go.
Bye. Because they weren't too fond of him from my sources. So they weren't, there's no love lost. Like, bye, see you later. Threw the thing out, threw all the stuff out.
They didn't even have the decency to leave his hairbrush behind.
But I don't think, but I mean, Alderman Ed Burke, did they security detail leave? I hope to goodness. He took a taxi to and from court.
He's only been indicted. Oh, well, now he's a man of the people.
And then he had he has to hand in by today his passport and his 23 weapons.
Right. And he needs those 23 guns. I know the hypocrisy is the least of his sins. He needs those 23 guns for the city that he and his fellow feudal lords have created, doesn't he? Including in his ward, back of the yards. Boy, the ironies, they just abound. Here's something else. 8 months of wiretaps on his cell phone. 9,500 conversations. I want to hear the tapes.
I want to hear all of the tapes.
Getting a roster of all who were conversing with Ed Burke and those conversations is more important than even a Burke conviction and sending some 75-year-old man away for a few years, because that's all it's going to be. That's what's really important. We didn't get justice in the Blagojevich case. It has nothing to do with Blagojevich's sentence, because we never heard the tapes and all the rumors that abound about what Rahm said during the time of the Senate seat.
Yep.
We didn't get it. And then, you have somebody leak the J.B. Pritzker conversations, but it shouldn't take somebody running for governor and somebody leaking what they reporter, who knows, somebody from Inside Justice, I don't know, leaking those Blagojevich-Pritzker conversations. We should have heard it all from the outset, or at least as soon as the case was adjudicated. And that's what the public should be demanding in this case. I want to know who was wheeling and dealing with Burke. Part of it you can see on his D2s, but that just tells you a lot about who the extortion victims were. And the contributions don't tell you
the real story. That's the finishing touch. But what did it take to get to the contribution?
Well, it's surface skimming. It's the tip of the spear with respect to the beneficiaries. By the way, the beneficiaries of Burke's campaign cash include Republicans, Jim Durkin, Dan Cronin.
Oh, really?
So you may be wondering, where's the call from Republicans? Do any Republicans want to comment on this? Have you heard any Republicans comment on Ed Burke? Mm-hmm. Right.
All I heard was that a lot of Chicago politicians and state politicians are having a hard time sleeping at night. Because when people do hear these tapes, we're going to learn a lot.
If. No call from the Republicans about this. The Republican leaders, such as they are, the ones with leadership titles, obviously they're not leaders. John Kass's bipartisan combine. And we should try, like hell, to get as much of a look-see, as much evidence as the feds have presented for public consumption.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson with a great way to start a new year. Get the MyPillow 4-pack. You'll be so happy with 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, plus free shipping. All for the normal price of 1 premium MyPillow. You know, I've been telling you for years that they're the best pillows money can buy. The bottom line is you will sleep better and feel better. MyPillow is washable, dryable, and has a money-back offer if you're not happy. And here's more good news. You can still get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress topper and pet beds that you've heard me rave about. Just be sure to use the promo code Amy to get the MyPillow 4-pack offer with free shipping and the 30% discount on everything else, including mattress toppers and pet beds. Visit MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. And don't forget to use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
If you're not pleased with your child's progress this school year, now's the time to consider enrolling your son or daughter in St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. With an ongoing enrollment program, it's never too late. For years, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has served young men and is now an excellent co-ed environment. Not a school for troubled kids, but one that will prepare young men and women for college by focusing on rigorous academics and leadership with a safe, secure, and structured environment free from distractions that's conducive to successful learning. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual, and character development, athletics, and their military traditions. Find out more about St. John's Northwestern Military Academy ongoing enrollment. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org. Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
President Theodore Roosevelt wisely said, "A vote is like a rifle. Its usefulness depends on the character of the user."
For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, including experienced quality control and assurance engineers, plus validation and compliance experts. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or online at hireasi.com.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
This is the time more than ever to look at your accounts and say, you know what? I've made a good amount of money back. Why give that money back, especially if you're entering into retirement and you need to generate an income? You need to have all of that money. So why give back what you've earned back from 2008?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Brian Duncan, co-founder of Signature Bank. Born and raised in Chicagoland, my partners and I knew this city needed a locally owned business bank. As fellow entrepreneurs, we know the challenges facing businesses, and we are invested in our customers' success. We are here to build mutually beneficial, long-term, lasting relationships with our customers. We look forward to helping our customers reach their goals every day, and we are here to see them succeed. At Signature Bank, you work directly with decision makers who understand your business and can deliver on their promises.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I guess it is being reported that Tony Preckwinkle, Tony.
Ugh, that's no lady, man. Ooh, I don't mean to get catty, but you want her representing Chicago?
Loved her on Sanford and Son.
Oh, hey now.
She is going to return all $116,000 that she received from Burke over the years, and
oh really? And from the funds from that party they had for her.
Yeah,
Ed and Ann.
I repeat my indifference, and so what does that accomplish? Now, do we pretend now that she's separated from Ed Burke? Do we pretend now that those relationships that generated that cash over many years don't exist? I mean, it's all like suspension of disbelief theater. It's stupid.
It's embarrassing. We can do better.
All right, speaking of stupid, the Sunday talkies were obsessed about the partial shutdown of the government, and they want it to end because they're the big government press corps, and they're pressing President Trump as to whether he still wants to own this shutdown. And the operative question to the surrogates as well as to the president at his press avail, why not just fund the part of the government that's shut down currently and then continue negotiating over border security funding? Well, Lindsey Graham has an answer to that question. He's answered the why. And I'll tell you what, when Lindsey Graham is good, like during the Kavanaugh hearing, he's very good. And he was very good on this, and we'll have him at 6:06.
And later, why Democrats don't like concrete. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Bears fall to the Eagles in the playoffs. Preckwinkle trying to distance herself from Alderman Ed Burke. Man struck and killed by an SUV in Elgin. And the Blackhawks battled back to beat the Penguins last night. Rain will end by the early afternoon. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Steel, not concrete. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump says he's willing to change what the wall's made of, but he insists we still need it.
This is a very important battle to win.
But Democrats like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi refuse to give him funding and blame him for the partial government shutdown.
They don't mind government being shut down because they don't believe in governance.
Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
As the government shutdown heads into a third week with hundreds of thousands of government workers unpaid, President Trump telling reporters that he empathizes with those who have bills to pay.
I can relate, and I'm sure that the people that are on the receiving end will make adjustment. They always do.
The president is also warning he'll consider declaring a national emergency to build a border wall with Mexico. That would almost certainly invite legal challenges, as the Constitution makes clear that the power of the purse is a congressional power. Dave?
National Security Advisor John Bolton is in Israel, saying the president's plan to pull U.S. troops out of Syria is not immediate. It'll be done
in a way that makes sure that ISIS is defeated and is not able to revive itself and become a threat again.
Actor Kevin Spacey has a new role, defendant, due in court today on Massachusetts' Nantucket Island, where he's accused of groping a young man in a bar in 2016. That and other sexual misconduct allegations cost Spacey movie and TV roles. They gave out the Golden Globes last night. Green Book won 3 of them.
I'm a musician. I'm about to embark on a concert tour in the Deep South.
Mahershala Ali won for Best Supporting Actor, and the movie got Top Musical or Comedy. Bohemian Rhapsody won for Best Drama. Christian Bale won Best Actor for his role as Dick Cheney in Vice and said on the NBC show,
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
The Americans in the Kaminsky Method won for Best TV Shows. This is Fox News.
We've had some light rain showers crossing the area this morning. Cloudy skies, and we may see some sun by the afternoon. 41 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Bears kicker Cody Parkey banged a tipped field goal off the upright and the crossbar with 5 seconds left. Eagles hold on for a 16-15 wildcard win here in Chicago. Nick Foles tossed a 2-yard TD pass to Golden Tate on 4th down with 56 seconds left to put the Eagles ahead for good. Bears offensive tackle Kyle Long looked at the bright side.
No, he's just really proud of the guys, and I think we all share that feeling, and we're proud of one another. We've done a lot. Nobody thought we'd make it this far. We had plans to go even further than this, but it's not the way it worked out.
Meantime, Allen Robinson, 10 catches, 143 yards, and a touchdown. Nice surprise this year for Chicago in defeat. Search for a new head coach for the Broncos will hit Chicago today, as team officials will be here to interview Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio for the job. Candidate for Chicago Mayor Toni Preckwinkle trying to distance herself from Alderman Ed Burke after he was charged with attempted extortion last week. Last night, the Cook County Board president saying she's returning $116,000 raised at a campaign fundraiser at the Burke home last January. Lame Duck Mayor Rahm Emanuel ordering an outside audit of the city's workers' compensation program, previously handled by the embattled alderman Ed Burke. Burke became chairman of that program in 1983. A French citizen is accused of falsely claiming to have a bomb at O'Hare last week. Jerome Osler was charged with felony disorderly conduct in connection with the Friday incident. Chicago sports, Blackhawks battled back from being down 2-0 to beat the Penguins 5-3 in Pittsburgh. Nets over the Bulls, 117-100. And it was Northwestern, a Big Ten hoops win over Illinois, 68-66. The news, a service of Peloton, live studio classes in the comfort of your own home. Whether it's a monthly challenge to meet your goals, a training program for your next race, or setting a new personal best, the Peloton bike will make you want to show up and keep climbing the live leaderboard year-round. Learn more about the Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom. 6:04 is our time, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity applauds the president's stance on trade.
We have had horrible one-sided deals with everybody. That includes NATO, 72 cents of every dollar. That includes even our European allies and friends, supposedly. They have one-sided trade deals. Mexico, NAFTA, Canada, now China. So we're making huge progress.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joel Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Oh, wow!
It can't be. Oh, yes, yes, yes!
Oh, where have you been? If you snore, the first time you use Mute can be quite an experience.
I can breathe! I can breathe!
Snoring can happen when your nose is blocked, forcing you to breathe through your mouth. Mute is a comfortable nasal breathing device designed to increase airflow through the nose by gently opening the airways. Thanks to Mute, you get all the air you need through your nose and not your mouth, which means less snoring and more chance of sleep.
Oh, that's the best night I've had in years.
In trials, 75% of couples reported a reduction in snoring when using Mute. Available at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and other fine stores. To find your local store or for more information, go to mutesnoring.com. Mute. Breathe more, snore less, sleep better.
Morning traffic is here, and you can tackle it with P3 Portable Protein Pack. It's a more interesting way to get your protein with its combination of meat, cheese, and nuts. P3's high protein will help you make it through whatever you need to face during the day. Get your morning going with P3.
6:07. And a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy Expressway traffic is bottled up. Canfield to Nagle, where there's reported crash. Right now it's about 25 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Expect that to go up quickly. Outbound delays. Bryn Mawr moves to the way to O'Hare. Looking at about 28 minutes from downtown to the airport. It's heavy on westbound 190 as well. Eisenhower inbound. Right, First Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue and Demon to the Burns Circle. 33 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Down Stevenson, 39 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. About Ryan, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, okay. Bishop Ford, 17 minutes, 8094 to Merge. Ramp, southbound Clyde to eastbound 8094 is closed. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Breezy and not as cool. Periods of rain ending early afternoon today, high 53. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 37. Strong winds developing tomorrow. A couple of morning showers, then cooler times of clouds and sun, the high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare. Next news, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k rollover specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, day 17 of the partial government furlough, and the cable news networks are losing their mind. Big government media obviously wants big government open and funded. They've got a lot of sentimental stories about what some federal workers are allegedly going through during this time away. Non-essential federal workers, of course. There's no irony in non-essential. If it's not essential, then why?
Yeah, but Border Patrol agents, ICE agents, TSA, they're not going to be getting their paychecks this Friday. I don't know about you, but I would not be in a good mood if I was not receiving my paycheck this Friday.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Do you get those stories, those same maudlin stories about what befalls families when it's a business that shuts down because of terrible public policy in a place like, I don't know, Chicago, Illinois? A factory closes up, they invest somewhere else because of terrible public policy at the hands of these politicians that the handmaidens in the D.C. press corps and their regional outposts in places like Chicago are wont to tell us? No, you don't. I have empathy for anybody who is between work or living paycheck to paycheck. That's fine. But let's understand what's at stake here. And Lindsey Graham on Face the Nation over the weekend put it in no uncertain terms. I think he explained it quite nicely to the question that, if you paid any attention over the weekend, you heard repeated, because there's one brain that's shared by the Gang of 500 inside the Beltway. Why not just fund the government, reopen that small section of the government that's not currently open, can you tell, and then continue negotiations over border security funding? Lindsey Graham has the why.
Well, there are about 800,000 federal workers who are in this limbo, not being sure when they're going to get paid. So with that in mind, with them in mind, why can't you reopen the government while you argue about the things you just laid out?
Why would you negotiate with somebody who calls you a racist if you want a wall, who gives you $1 for a wall, when the Democratic Party supported $25 billion in the past? We're not going to negotiate with people who see the world this way. We'll negotiate with Dick Durbin, but I'm not going to negotiate with somebody who calls the Border Patrol agents a bunch of Nazis when they're trying to defend the border against a mob. These caravans have changed everything. The reason you need $5 billion now and not 1.6 is the border is deteriorating in terms of security. We've got 11,000 unaccompanied minors coming from Central America, and it costs us $750 a day to house these minors, and only God knows what they go through to get here. The Democrats see our law enforcement officers as the problem. We see the illegal immigrants, the coyotes, and the drug dealers as a problem.
Well, what about those people who work for Homeland Security, who are carrying out the policies you're talking about, who are not going to get paid? What about the Coast Guard?
Yeah, they're being held hostage. They're being held hostage by people who say you need $1 to secure the border. They're being held hostage by people.
So you don't want to open the government and then continue talking?
I do want to open up the government, but the goal is not to open up the government. The goal is to fix a broken immigration system, to bring reality to this table, that ICE is not the problem, it's the solution. The goal is to repair a damaged, broken immigration system, is to implement policies Democrats have voted for in the past on President Trump's watch. We're not going to give in to this radical left, ever, until we can find a rational way forward where we'll have wall as part of a border security plan. We're going nowhere. Wall plus DACA plus TPS makes sense. But you'll never convince me that we don't need a wall.
2 points there. One is, and that was a great 2-minute takedown by Lindsey Graham. 2 important points. One is the goal here is to address border security, not to just keep open the government so that people have paychecks. That's not the purpose of public policy making, I'm sorry, or the prioritization of it. Number two is the thing that Graham said at the end. Remember, Republicans have been willing to deal on this issue with respect to things like deferred action for childhood arrivals, DACA, and providing a pathway for people who are brought to this country illegally by their parents to stay here legally. President Trump provided it during Schumer's shutdown, and it is still on the table. And
they're not moving on.
And Democrats aren't interested in all of these humanitarian goals they say animate them. They're interested in opposing Trump at any cost, including the cost of opportunities for those constituents they say they want to represent, like the DACA people.
I know, it's so strange. They have this golden apple that they can seize upon, and they're not using it because really they don't care about the people who are here illegal. They don't care about shutting down the borders. I'm not shutting down, but putting a wall up. What they wanted over the weekend, they demanded to see a breakout of the 5.7 building. Yeah, and then they have a problem with concrete, Dan. So now they're a little more open to steel barriers instead of a wall. Really, what is the difference?
They're not really. I mean, this is
They
just
seem to be more.
This is moving the goalposts, right?
Okay.
This is just stall tactics. They need to appear to be reasonable. They can't just say no, no, no.
I would say goalposts right now. It's too soon.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
that's
after
true.
last night's game.
It's true.
Thank you.
Well,
Sorry.
the Democrats are in the Cody Parkey position because they're clanking it off the goalposts that they're moving as the president digs in and put this question out. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. As the president and, frankly, his best surrogate on the topic, you just heard from Lindsey Graham, are they right about this? Not going to move. Not going to move as long as the Democrats, the radical left, are just playing cheap race-hustling identity politics and are not going to support things they previously supported and are not going to advance the interests of the nation by providing a modicum of funding for enhanced border security. Is the president right to dig in, as he said, for months, years?
I just want to check that the shutdown could go on for months or even a year or longer. Did you say that?
I did.
I did.
Is that your assessment of where we are?
Absolutely, I said that. I don't think it will, but I am prepared, and I think I can speak for Republicans in the House and Republicans in the Senate. They feel very strongly about having a safe country, having a border that makes sense. Without borders, I've said it many times, we don't have a country.
What about that?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. And he also suggested late yesterday, after he got back from Camp David, about declaring a national emergency. So they'd build the wall without congressional approval, and they'd use our military, U.S. military, to build that wall.
We're looking at a national emergency because we have a national emergency. Just read the papers. We have a crisis at the border of drugs, of human beings being trafficked all over the world. They're coming through. And we have an absolute crisis, and of criminals and gang members coming through. It is national security. It's a national emergency.
And by the way, the whole discussion over the weekend on the Sunday talkies about whether or not the president has the power to do this, not even a question. He absolutely has the power under his emergency powers to direct the military to construct. Absolutely does. Don't believe me. Do not believe me. Believe Adam Smith, Democrat representative from Washington, who's the incoming House Armed Services Committee chairman, who was on with Clinton Foundation Donor Zero on the topic.
Does President Trump have the ability, have the authority to declare a national emergency, have the military build his wall? Well, unfortunately, the short answer is yes. There is a provision in law that says the president can declare an emergency. It's been done a number of times, but primarily it's been done to build facilities in Afghanistan and Iraq. And in this case, I think the president would be wide open to a court challenge saying, where's the emergency? You have to establish that in order to do this. But beyond that, this would be a terrible use of Department of Defense dollars. The president spends most of his time talking about how we're not spending enough on national security. Now he wants to take $20 billion out of the defense budget to build a wall.
Adam Smith is about the best you're going to do. At least he was honest about the law and the president's power. He's just dishonest about the rest of it. And it's an insight into their posture with respect to this issue. Oh, the Democrats, the spendthrift Democrats are worried about $20 billion out of the more than half a $1 trillion Pentagon budget for border security funding. As Lindsey Graham mentioned, they previously voted for $25 billion in border security funding, but now they're worried about $5 to $20 billion. Give me a break. They're lying. They're posturing. They're demagoguing. They're pandering to their radical left Ocasio-Cortez, Talib, MFer base. That's what they're doing. Oh, and by the way, yeah, right, it's been used in Afghanistan, these emergency powers, to build green zones in Afghanistan and Iraq. Right. Oh, boy, what a concept. Building a green zone on our border so that maybe, I don't know, for example, one Ronald Singh isn't murdered by somebody here illegally.
That did not get the coverage it deserved.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that,
I mean,
isn't it?
we played some sound bites of his brother crying. It was heartbreaking, but it just did not. He pulled him over, suspected DUI driver, and then he ended up murdering him because he's here illegally. Same thing that happened with that University of Iowa student. She said to the guy that was here illegally, I'm going to call police on you. And he killed her because of that, because he was here illegally too.
Did you catch any of that memorial service to the fallen officer in California over the weekend? Newman, California?
Seconds. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
30 seconds. I saw a little video clip. That was it.
We'll play that in a moment. Annie on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
This is so infuriating to me that, first of all, how many Americans have to die at the hands of illegals? If you come to this country illegally, you're a criminal. Politicians care more about these people than they do Americans. That police officer didn't need to be killed, and I wish it up. You lock your doors at night. You have a fence around your backyard for safety and protection. Why wouldn't you do it for this country? It's disgusting, and Trump should keep the government shut down and not give in. This is enough of this nonsense, and Americans need to wake up. It's getting old and tiring. That poor police officer, the blood is on their hands for every American that was killed or murdered by illegals here that don't belong in our country.
Thanks for the call, Annie. And here's the thing. To her point, Democrats don't care about police officers. They don't care about Americans. They care about mascots, which is how they treat persons trying to enter this country illegally. They're mascots for the aggrandizement of their political power, to whip their lobotomized pea-hat-wearing base into a frenzy, to put pressure on weak-kneed Republicans in Congress and elsewhere. But the reality is, and this is an important point, they don't care about those people either. They don't care about the people trying to get across the border. They don't really care about the 2 kids that died in ICE custody. They don't care, except as they're valuable for a political tool, any more than they care about that 7-year-old girl that was killed in a drive-by in Harris County, Texas. They don't care about her. They don't care about Hadiya Pendleton. As soon as these individuals lose their political cachet, the story disappears. When it was a white man that was suspected of opening fire on the car carrying Jasmine Barnes, it was a national story.
It was a hate crime. It was
hate crime. Houston Texans wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is given $75,000 to find the kill. When they identified 2 suspects who happened to be African American and took them into custody in connection with the shooting, story disappears. You think they care about Jasmine Barnes? You think they care about the people trying to enter the country legally? Only as the means to their political ends, not as human beings. Craig in Mount Greenwood, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan and Amy.
The government was established for one main primary purpose, was to take and guard our nation, protect us, and keep us safe in that. It wasn't for all these other programs and all this and that. That's all secondary. It's all beside it. They need to take and keep that government shut down, put that wall up, or it'll never happen. They'll never get it if they don't get it now. And the point is that the government is basically so far out of whack of doing all kinds of things that they were never established for. That's why we got here.
Thanks, Craig.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's actually really been helping my system and my lupus and my gastro problems. So I'm actually very happy with the product.
Acid reflux is pretty much under control. That's why I keep taking it.
I have noticed, I'm sleeping better since I started taking the Balance of Nature and all the other things I'm doing.
I can't believe how wonderful your product is. I listened to you guys on the radio for years and years and years, and I listened to all the testimonials. I go, well, it's probably time to give it a try, and I've been just happy as could be ever since.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-600-4850. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-600-4850. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-600-4850. 1-800-600-4850.
You've spent a lot of time and energy getting everything perfect with the planning and construction of your new property. But something's still missing. The interior and exterior of the structure turned out as planned, but there's still something you may not have even thought of until now. And it makes a big difference. The landscape. That's where AM Woodland Design makes the outdoors come alive to put that final detail on your build. Whether you're a commercial developer or custom home builder, AM Woodland Outdoor Design will put the finishing touches on your properties to make a complete and flawless presentation that will impress. As always, the expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process and provide quality service with integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com, that's amwoodland.com, or call 847-224-2167.
The quivers, the shivers, goosebumps. That's what our customers say before 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning repairs their furnace. Call us. We'll fix it right, stand by our work, and give you our straightforward pricing, which means no hourly charges. How's that for goosebumps? Right now, get big savings on any heating repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I mentioned the murder of Ronell Singh. I know you talked about it last week. Ronell Singh, a California police officer, killed in the line of duty. Fiji-born American hero. He was hailed Saturday at his memorial service. 33 years old.
5-month-old child. Oh.
Hard-working immigrant who worked his way up to become an officer in the small town of Newman, California, out Modesto way. There's an immigrant. Does his life matter? Did it the right way, as his police chief, Richardson, explained to those in attendance.
And he sat and told me about all the pride he had in America.
and how much it meant to him to be here and to be getting this opportunity.
To be a police officer. That's what he wanted to do. Even a more powerful statement, and the police chief broke up, by the way, during his eulogy. Yeah. It was tough. This Officer Jeff Harmon, he was the first speaker at Singh's funeral. I know you didn't see it if you just watched the D.C. press corps because their coverage, because there was no coverage. Fiji-born American hero, no coverage. Police officer. Jeff Harmon, what's right and what's wrong about what's going on in America right now, and how Officer Singh, Corporal Singh, represented everything that's right.
Thank you for taking the time to honor a man who stood for so much of what is right in our world, and yet unfortunately was taken too soon from us by what is wrong in our world. The contrast between right and wrong is a framework that I'd like to use for just a moment to offer some hope and some perspective on how we can move forward from such an impactful, painful loss, such as the loss of Ranil. See, what's wrong with the world is that far too often, those who we love are taken from us by the selfish acts of others. But what's right in the world is that there are those like Corporal Singh who have made personal commitments to not let the darkness with which some operate extinguish the light that they have to offer. What's wrong with the world is that too often those who have stepped up to serve and given so much to their fellow man are taken advantage of by those who refuse to pull even their own weight. But what's right in the world is that there are people like Ranil who truly understand what it means to be a productive member of society and are willing to work in double time to make up for those who never will. What's wrong with the world is that frequently, even the very institutions and bodies that we entrust with providing an environment in which the American dream, where those who choose to get on board and work toward creating a land where ultimate freedom and order peacefully coexist, can truly become a reality. Oftentimes, what is created instead is a culture where what we say we value most is not rewarded, but at times, in fact, is punished or looked down upon. But what's right in the world is that there are those like Ranil who, in spite of all of that, choose to work hard, even in the face of opposition, because they believe in that dream so strongly, and they won't let anything stop them from working toward what they believe is right. What's wrong with the world is that police officers, sheriff's deputies, and other law enforcement officers are regularly viewed under a microscope, questioned on every single one of a million decisions they will make in their career, and sometimes even made to be the enemy, at times by the very people that they are sworn to protect. But what's right in the world is that there are officers like Ranil, who probably more than anything else wanted to be home on Christmas night with his wife and his young son, but instead made a selfless choice to serve all of his community, knowing that there were more, many more, than just his own family who needed his protection that night. Corporal Ranil Singh is a shining example of what is right in our world.
Amen to that. Can't do better than Officer Harmon did. What else is wrong with the world are race-hustling, empty-headed demagogues like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib. And we'll pick up the Thelma and Louise of leftist politics at 6:36 with Jim Pethokoukis.
But first, let's get into the newsroom. Check in with news here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Clouds and 41 degrees. Bears kicker Cody Parkey bangs a tipped field goal off the upright and crossbar with 5 seconds left. Eagles hold on for a 16-15 wild card win here in Chicago yesterday. Partial government shutdown, now the third longest in U.S. history. Today, day 17. Speaking to reporters at the White House after returning from Camp David yesterday, the president says he may declare a state of emergency to fund the wall.
We have a crisis at the border of drugs, of human beings being trafficked all over the world. They're coming through. And we have an absolute crisis, and of criminals and gang members coming through.
The new chairman of the House Armed Services Committee says he doesn't really understand President Trump's proposed wall.
The president seems unaware of this, but we've actually already built a wall across much of the border. And all border security experts that I talk to say where a wall makes sense, it's already been built.
ABC's This Week with Adam Smith. Suspected drunken driver heading the wrong way on I-75 in Kentucky, striking a vehicle carrying a family of 5 from Michigan on Sunday, killing 6. The southbound pickup truck being driven in the northbound lane struck the family's vehicle around 2:30 a.m. in Lexington. Nephew Hassan Abbas reacted this morning in Detroit.
5 people die just like that. We don't know how we feel. We're just confused. Everyone confused. We don't believe it. We still don't believe it.
The SUV caught fire. All 5 occupants of that vehicle died, along with the pickup's driver, according to the Lexington police. Some TSA workers at New York's Kennedy Airport say they're being forced to work overtime to make up for co-workers who are calling in sick amid the partial government shutdown. This is TSA Officer Brian Turner.
We say to ourselves, we have a job to do and we're going to do it. We don't feel good that this is happening. You know, how are you supposed to survive without a paycheck? And how long can we continue to do this job before we have to make those tough decisions?
So far at JFK, Chicago's O'Hare, and Midway airports, workers have been calling in sick, but there have not been any major disruptions. Small town in Georgia this morning under orders to evacuate after a train derailment and chemical spill. Green Book and Bohemian Rhapsody taking home top honors at the Golden Globes. Lame Duck Mayor Rahm Emanuel this morning orders an outside audit of the city's workers' compensation program, previously handled by embattled Alderman Ed Burke. Candidate for Chicago Mayor Toni Preckwinkle trying to distance herself from Burke this morning. In a Twitter post, the Cook County Board President said she is returning $116,000 raised at a campaign fundraiser at Burke's home last January. Blackhawks beat the Penguins 5-3. Nets over the Bulls 117-100. The news a service of P3 Portable Protein Packs. You can tackle anything with P3 Portable Protein Pack. It's a more interesting way to get your protein with its combination of meat, cheese, and nuts. P3's high protein will help you make it through whatever you need to face during the day. Get your morning going with P3. 6:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's 2019, and this could be the year. Yeah, this could be the year Congress works together.
It's a disgrace what's happening in our country.
This could be the year we build the wall.
They want border security. The people of this country want border security.
This could be the year the Russia investigation comes to an end.
The entire thing has been a witch hunt.
Well, for what could be and what is in 2019. Keep it right here. And Happy New Year. AM 560, The Answer.
It's Dr. David Kolbaba. It's our winter survival kit for this cold and flu season. It's power-packed with natural ingredients, and unlike the flu shot, it's safe and effective. First, it's our Sunny C 1000. It's highly absorbable, and it does not suppress your body's natural killer cells like most other vitamin C supplements do. And when you purchase your first bottle of our Sunny C 1000, I promise to include scientific data to back it up. And I'll also include a vitamin C dosage chart for you to customize how much is best for you, whether you're fighting off a cold or flu or you want a preventative dose to keep you from getting a cold or flu. Sunny C 1000. It's easy on the stomach, and it's essential in fighting illness. And when you order your Sunny C 1000 today, be sure to get more information on the rest of our winter survival kit. Call 800-794-1855. It's our Health Quest Radio hotline. And be sure to listen to Health Quest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11. But for now, that number again, 800-794-1855.
I'm Dan Proft.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
And if you're a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then listen up.
Once again, our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway to raise money for children suffering from poverty in Haiti. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children this year.
And here's how your business can be a part of this. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor, and AM 560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. One more time, 847-472-8951.
6:37, a check on the roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Reagan Tollway eastbound traffic is stop and go from York to Roosevelt. The vehicle fire there blocking the right lane. Northbound Tri-State, we see delays. Hinsdale Oasis to 47th, then from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Edens runs 23 minutes late. Cook to Montrose outbound 20. Kennedy jammed 190 to Nagel. Right lane is blocked. Crash. Looking at 32 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 42 with airport traffic. Delays start around Lawrence. On Eisenhower. 45 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound 31. Stevenson 40 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 22 minutes. 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford 17 minutes. 89 to the Verge. I-57's fine. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Rain ending in the early afternoon, then clouds and sunshine. Breezy, but not as cool. High 53 this afternoon and partly cloudy 37 overnight. 42 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Townstone Financial. Picking a mortgage company is easy. Visit townstone.com for quick approval and the best rates.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Things looking up in 2019. You had 312,000 jobs created in December, according to last week's report. You got Elizabeth Warren admitting she's not a person of color.
I saw that. She was in Iowa this weekend. Went to 5 different cities, and that was crazy because someone asked her about, why'd you get the DNA testing done? And then she went on like, I'm not a woman of color. I do not belong to a tribe.
Better inform Harvard Law School because that's not how they profiled her as a member of the faculty. But that's okay. It was just get progress comes in fits and starts. Also, hey. Thelma has found her Louise. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has found Rashida Tlaib. And the two of those gals together are going to take the Democratic Party right off the, I won't tell you how it ends. Ocasio-Cortez profiled by a restrained, because it's tough to restrain his giddiness, Gloria Vanderbilt's kid there on 60 Minutes yesterday.
Was he doing tequila shots? Because he did for his New Year's Eve special.
Missed
in case
that.
You didn't know. Oh, yeah. Did tequila shots and then talked about who his mom slept with. Like Marlon Brando. It was very uncomfortable.
So he and his girlfriend, Don Lemon, they dished?
No, Andy, or what's his name? Andy Cohen was with him. But they dished.
Any body shots off Don Lemon's ripped abs? No.
But anyway, so now he's back to covering news or what's perceived as news.
Ocasio-Cortez is the thought leader, which I know is one of those phrases you're supposed to remove from your lexicon in 2019. But it seems appropriate for Ocasio-Cortez, thought leader of the left. She's got a 12-year plan to do a bunch of things, including make America fossil fuel free. All the details aren't in place, but, thinking big thoughts.
Would convert the entire U.S. economy to renewable sources of energy in just 12 years, while guaranteeing every American a job at a fair wage.
You're talking about zero carbon emissions, no use of fossil fuels within 12 years?
That is the goal. It's ambitious. And
how is that possible? You're talking about everybody having to drive an electric car?
It's going
Tesla.
to require a lot of rapid change that we don't even conceive as possible right now. What is the problem with trying to push our technological capacities to the furthest extent possible?
This would require, though, raising taxes.
There's an element where, people are going to have to start paying their fair share in taxes.
Do you have a specific on the tax rate?
You look at our tax rates back in the 60s, and when you have a progressive tax rate system, your tax rate, let's say from $0 to $75,000 may be 10% or 15%, et cetera. But once you get to like the tippy tops. On your 10 millionth dollar,
She's a serious person.
sometimes you see tax rates as high as 60 or 70%. That doesn't mean all $10 million are taxed at an extremely high rate, but it means that as you climb up this ladder, you should be contributing more.
What a dissertation.
70% more. She wants to tax the wealthy.
I think what you
Pay for
should
this
do
climate change
is stick to the Breakfast Club dancing routine that
Oh,
she's
yeah.
getting more positive press on. But she wanted to make it clear she's a socialist. Oh, yeah. But not in like the Castro, Venezuelan Trotsky way.
What of my policies most closely resemble what we see in the UK, in Norway, in Finland, in Sweden?
Actually, they don't.
No, they don't.
In
Sweden, the more money you make, the less you pay in taxes.
Well, in Sweden, the difference is, for example, and this is why Sweden often ranks ahead of America on economic freedom indices. So Sweden has this thing called private pensions.
Yeah.
Sweden has this thing called
They've
school
privatized
choice.
the pensions. Yep.
I wonder.
They privatized the railroad, the railway system there too.
With this pending L.A. school teacher strike. So is Ocasio-Cortez supporting school choice in L.A., or is she going to stand with the teachers' unions? She doesn't even know what she believes. She's a 29-year-old nitwit who's captured America's heart and the Democrat Party, and boy, is it fun to watch. There's a funniness, too. There's another moment in that 60 Minutes thing where Anderson Cooper politely questions her about all the things where she is like catastrophically wrong, absurdly wrong, $21 trillion Pentagon budget and these sorts of things. And she essentially gives the Trump answer, which is, I'm directionally correct. The details aren't important. What's important is I'm morally right. It's fascinating. For more on this topic and a dissection of Scandinavian tax policy, we're pleased to be joined by Jim Pethokoukis, CNBC contributor and columnist for the American Enterprise Institute. Jim, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year.
So what do you think about Ocasio-Cortez's ambitious, as she terms it, 12-year plan?
Well, listen, I'm a big believer on the factually correct side. I guess I'm old-fashioned. I understand like the having high aspirations and high goals, but I think it's at least important that we know the politician understands that their goals are aspirational, going to be extraordinarily hard, realizes what the trade-offs are. And then last point, understanding the trade-offs, that if you want one thing, you may have to give up another thing. I think that's really important. That's what you often don't hear about, like the costs and the benefits, when you hear people who are activists describe policy. And right now she's talking more like an activist than a serious policymaker. Which, listen, I think she's about the most important Democrat there is. She's changing the Democratic debate. Now everyone else is talking about a Green New Deal. You'll have other Democrats talking about much higher tax rates. So she's a thinkfluential. Absolutely.
That's a new word,
one.
thinkfluential. That could
Yeah.
replace the thought leader for 2019.
But did you laugh when she suggested taxing the wealthy 70%?
Listen, that's a high tax rate.
Yeah.
That's a tax rate I haven't seen in this country for since the 1960s. And I think there's somehow the idea that there is no downside because the economy grew fast in the past when they had high tax rates. Even though it was a very different economy, a very different tax code. Again, those differences often get ignored, which is how activists talk. They don't give you the context. So she's still talking like an activist and someone pushing an idea rather than someone who's going to be serious and really think about the differences between now and then and the downside to perhaps doubling top tax rates at a time when the U.S. already faces a historic downshift in economic growth.
The other thing, it's a good point you bring up. Like, we have to have adult conversations with people about concepts that everyone should have learned in high school, like we live in a world of scarcity, which is what you were describing. But politicians, both sides, play this game because they know that the public isn't great at comprehending or wanting to deal with abstractions. So making choices, because we live in a world of scarcity, and also the concept of opportunity cost. So, what didn't happen or what could have happened or what did happen because you chose one policy to the exclusion of other. There are costs that you pay, and this is sort of the trade-off thing as well. So, yes, will people still get along if you increase the top margin rate to 70%? Sure, just like they did previously. But the,
Hey, Dan,
the
let me
impact
tell you
that would
something.
have.
Dan, there has been zero research on the impact of very high tax rates on how people pick their careers, whether they decide to become, I don't know, Elon Musk, or they decide to do something else with their lives. Again, nor Paul Krugman, they have any idea, and that's pretty important, what people decide to do with their lives, not just how a higher tax rate affects revenues over the next 2 years. Yeah, there's research on that kind of stuff. But like the bigger, longer-term stuff that's really, really important, they have no idea, and they're just picking numbers out of a hat because the U.S. grew at a certain rate 50 years ago.
Well, and
that's
also,
serious.
also too, isn't this just illustrative of the mind's eye here? So they look at people as revenue agents for the state. They don't look at people in terms of their personal fulfillment, development, contribution on their own terms. And so that's a real distinction in terms of worldview.
It's understanding that you're dealing with human beings whose behavior is influenced by things, is influenced by incentives, and how policy encourages or discourages certain actions. One of the key sort of breakthroughs that we had in this country is that tax rates matter. They're not the only thing that matter, but they matter how people behave. And she's saying, well, to the extent she's thought it through, that everything else would be the same, but we'll have a 70% top tax rate. And look at those other countries, they also have value-added taxes. All the money isn't coming from rich people. It's coming from everybody. And Democrats are very worried that middle-class people will not accept higher taxes for their plans because they don't talk about it, and they only talk about people who make $10 million or more.
All right, switching gears here. Dan mentioned earlier that December job report, U.S. added 312,000 jobs. The unemployment, though, went up to 3.9%. Why did the job numbers and the unemployment rate go up?
Right, because the workforce. You have people coming off the sidelines. The workforce gets bigger. So we really don't care about the higher unemployment if you have more people actively looking for work. So that's fine. No one cares about that 3.9% number. Listen, it's a lot more jobs. That's great. It's pretty impressive for an economy that's been this long of an expansion. And the economy looks like it will be slowing. We can still generate jobs. You still might see the unemployment rate go down. But I wouldn't expect the economy to grow as fast over the next couple of years as it did last year.
Now, I know, kind of stock picking is not your forte or focus, but there's an interesting data point I saw over the holidays as the market was all over the place. Midterm election years, this is from some analyst, the Dow was off 16%. There's a sell down 16%, and that's about where it was at the end of the year. And the year following midterm elections, this is Republican and Democrat presidents, up 32%. Is that just more sort of fun with numbers, or do you expect this to be a good year to be in equities?
I am not a registered representative.
I understand.
I am not a money manager. What I can say is that 2019 looks like a year of slower growth. That's not going to be great for profits. You have a trade war, maybe not so great for profits.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you how to invest. Listen, I'm a long-term investor. Dan, I know you're still a day trader. It's always the 90s for you. You're always
the go-go 90s.
I don't have it. I don't have that in me. God bless you.
It's a high wire act over here, Jim. That's the way I live.
Yeah, that's how you love the adrenaline rush. Not so much.
Well, you've got a family to look after, so I understand. You got to be a little bit more reserved.
I know you like going all in every day, all day. I'm a little more cautious.
The problem is I just keep watching Rounders, and it works out for Matt Damon in the end. So I figure, at some point I got to be Teddy KGB. He is Jim Pethokoukis, CNBC contributor, columnist for the American Enterprise Institute. Jim, thanks for joining us.
You bet.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. President Trump and congressional leaders scheduled to meet today to discuss the government shutdown. PepsiCo using robots to deliver snacks on college campuses. Those stories next.
Have you ever seen a pest controller spraying chemicals in your home? It makes you wonder, if their chemicals are safe, then why do they suit up and wear respirators only to leave you to walk back in unprotected? G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free, and I'm here to tell you there's a better way. In an age where we now have the choice to drive electric cars, you too can electronically rid your home or business of unwanted rodents and pests. The answer is Plug-in Pest Free. 100% chemical-free, Plug-in Pest Free is your safest bet for your family and pets. Our bestseller, the Plug-in Pest Free Pro, will cover up to 4,000 square feet. Now that's fair dinkum. So order yours today at gopestfree.com. Use promo code SAVE20 for 20% off plus free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. That's gopestfree.com, promo code SAVE20. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Gopestfree.com today.
Democratic-sponsored House legislation to fund the government dead in the Senate. President Trump again trying to convince the Democrats to fund his border wall with Mexico. The president calls it essential to national security. So does the Border Patrol. University of the Pacific students in California, part of a beta test by PepsiCo. The chips and beverage maker rolling out self-driving robots delivering snacks at 50 locations on the campus. PepsiCo says the robots represent a new way to use high technology to attract millennials. Lord & Taylor's flagship store on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, now a victim of the shift to online sales. The iconic store's final items, $600 designer shoes. Customers bought them for just $99. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Here's a great way to start a new year with the MyPillow 4-pack offer. Oh, you'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows plus free shipping, all for the normal price of 1 premium MyPillow. As you've been hearing me tell you for years, they're the best pillows money can buy. The bottom line is you'll sleep better. You will feel better. And MyPillow is washable and dryable and has a money-back offer if you're not happy. And here's more good news. You can still get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress topper and those pet beds that I love. Just be sure to use the promo code Amy to get the MyPillow 4-pack offer with free shipping and that 30% discount on everything else, including mattress toppers and pet beds. So visit MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Imagine doing one thing that gives you an entirely different perspective about your place in the world. Think it would be worth it? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher, inviting you to join me for a 10-day Stand With Israel tour through the land of Israel in December of 2019. Come with me to get firsthand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. We'll learn about the geopolitical, economic, and spiritual dynamics of one of the most fascinating places on earth. And you'll share experiences that will change how you view the world. Walk the ancient temple steps, touch the Western Wall, sail on the Sea of Galilee, pray on the Mount of Beatitudes. The list goes on. Return home inspired, renewed, and empowered. If you've ever dreamed of seeing Israel, this is your chance. Join me for a life-changing adventure to give you a renewed sense of purpose. The 10-day Stand With Israel tour, December 2019.
Purchase your travel experience at 560theanswer.com/Israel. Be sure to choose AM 560 when you register. That's 560theanswer.com/Israel.
Get up and go. It's Apple Vacation's great winter event. Non-stop fun, adventure, sun-soaked beaches. Escape to your favorite tropical destination. It's all available now. Save hundreds, but hurry, the best hotels and prices won't last. 3 nights of unlimited luxury in Cancun at Secrets Playa Mujeres Golf and Spa Resort start from only $879. Or make it 7 nights at Riu Palace Costa Mujeres starting from just $1099. And with Apple Vacations, it's all included. Non-stop round-trip air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Call Carey Travel Express at 847-639-3300 or visit careytravelexpress.com to book your trip today. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select exclusive vacation flights from O'Hare to Cancun on Frontier starting February 10th and include taxes and fees including September 11th security fee. Some flights are operated by other airlines. Baggage charges apply. See applevacations.com. Prices subject to availability and change. Restrictions apply.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I thought I had a sinus headache for a few days, but I had a massive brain aneurysm, hemorrhage of the brain, and a stroke, and I was on my deathbed. I was on a respirator in a coma for 35 days, and 3 months later, I came home in a wheelchair. I had double vision. I had to learn to walk again, to speak again. 1 and 1 is 2, write the alphabet. You know, if I went out and did a little something, I'd come home, I'd be in bed. Now, I'm up by like 5:30 in the morning, and I go to the gym. I do shopping. I cook. I have energy all day. I mean, I feel great. Overall, my whole outlook, just feeling, my mental aspect, everything is better.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Is border security a national emergency? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump thinks it could be.
We have criminals coming in. We have human traffickers coming in. We have drugs pouring in. We have things happening that you don't want to even know about.
He and Democrats remain in a standoff over funding what he says would now be a steel wall. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
With the partial government shutdown now on day 17, the president said he can relate to the 800,000 government workers who are not receiving a paycheck.
But many of those people that won't be receiving a paycheck, many of those people agree 100% with what I'm doing.
The president is threatening to declare a national emergency to bypass Congress and build a border wall with Mexico. Such a declaration would likely ignite a legal battle, as the Constitution's appropriations clause gives Congress the role of final arbiter of the use of public funds. Dave?
Democratic Senator Chris Coons told Fox history is not on the White House's side.
President Truman tried to nationalize the steel industry during the Korean War. And that was overturned by the Supreme Court.
Coons says they need a compromise.
Our broken immigration system needs to be resolved, and we need to invest in border security.
A couple and their 3 kids from Michigan are dead, killed in a crash on a highway in Kentucky, hit by a suspected drunk driver going the wrong way. A family relative says,
I just cannot process it. You know, it's hard to comprehend something like this.
In Houston, an arrest a week after a 7-year-old girl was shot and killed in a car. The driver of the truck that had pulled up alongside now charged with murder. Police still searching for the shooter. A movie about Queen, crowned at the Golden Globes.
I want to give the audience a song that they can perform. What's the lyric?
Bohemian Rhapsody got Best Drama, and Rami Malek Best Actor. The movie Green Book Best Comedy or Musical, and for TV, The Americans and The Kominsky Method were honored as the top shows. This is Fox News. Gray skies. We've had some light rain, but expect clouds and sunshine for the afternoon. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Bears kicker Cody Parkey banged a tipped field goal off the upright in the crossbar. With time running out, Eagles hold on for a 16-15 win over the Bears at Soldier Field in yesterday's wildcard playoff contest. Nick Foles tossed a 2-yard TD pass to Golden Tate on a 4th and 2 with 56 seconds left. put the Eagles ahead for good. Bears offensive tackle Kyle Long spent some time looking at the bright side.
No, he's just really proud of the guys, and I think we all share that feeling, and we're proud of one another. We've done a lot. Nobody thought we'd make it this far. We had plans to go even further than this, but it's not the way it worked out.
The search for a new head coach for the Broncos swarms into Chicago today as team officials will be here to interview Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio for the job. Candidate for Chicago Mayor Toni Preckwinkle is trying to distance herself from Alderman Ed Burke after he was charged with attempted extortion last week. In a Twitter posting, the Cook County Board President says she's returning $116,000 raised at a campaign fundraiser at Burke's home last January. She herself is refusing to say she did anything wrong, while her office continues to be mired in controversy. A man is hospitalized in critical condition after being stabbed in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood last night. And a congressman from Gary, Indiana, wants to continue the push to turn Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore into America's 61st national park. Blackhawks came from 2 down to beat the Penguins in Pittsburgh 5-3. Nets over the Bulls 117-100. The news, a service of P3 Portable Protein Packs. Hectic mornings? Say hello to P3 Portable Protein Pack. It's the perfect high-protein snack for on the go. It's a combination of meat, cheese, and nuts that will have you ready to take on the day. Grab the more interesting way to get your protein with P3. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
It's 2019, and this could be the year. Yeah, this could be the year Congress works together.
It's a disgrace what's happening in our country.
This could be the year we build the wall.
They want border security. The people of this country want border security.
This could be the year the Russia investigation comes to an end.
The entire thing has been a witch hunt.
Well, for what could be and what is in 2019. Keep it right here. And Happy New Year. AM 560, The Answer.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
The most popular days to get engaged are Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day. And guys, finding the perfect wedding venue can be harder to figure out than the color and quality of the perfect diamond. With love in the air, Avante Banquets is here to help you plan the wedding of your dreams for the party of a lifetime at a price right for you. Avante Banquets is part of the family-owned Chicago Prime Restaurants, with a picturesque location opened just last year near Barrington, providing fine American dining and a timeless experience. Avante is an exceptional space for your wedding or corporate events and fundraisers, for an intimate gathering, or parties of 500 or more. The calendar is filling up, so secure your date today at AvanteBanquets.com. That's AVANTE Banquets.com. With wedding packages starting at just $39 a person. Experience exceptional hospitality with the Calcunos family at Avante Banquets, because classic never goes out of style. AvanteBanquets.com. AvanteBanquets.com.
Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
7:07, a check on the roads at the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Eastbound Reagan-Tollway traffic is jammed from the Myers Toll Plaza to Roosevelt after an earlier vehicle fire. Northbound Tri-State has delays from the Stevenson to 47th and from the Reagan Tollway to the Ike. Northbound Veterans Memorial tight Butterfield to 22nd. Eden's inbound delay starts at Peterson, 26 minutes delay Cook to Montrose, southbound 23. Kennedy, after a crash at Nagel, 36 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 14 from Montrose, 12 in the Express. Outbound 46 minutes to the airport. It's heavy on westbound 190 as well. On Eisenhower, jammed. Laramie to Racine with a stall in the right lane. 52 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 39. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. That's traffic. I'm Jim Alamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Breezy and not as cool. Rain ending this afternoon, the high 53. Partly cloudy tonight, low 37. Strong winds developing tomorrow, a couple of morning showers. Then times of clouds and sun, the high tomorrow at 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare, cloudy skies. Next news, 7:30, Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Yes, I'm back. I've run out of booze, cigars, and ammo. So it was time to come back to base camp.
And I thought you were delivered in a box this morning by Amazon. We cut you out of it, and here you are.
Yeah, back just in time to witness this. The best call of last night's fateful field goal attempt from Spanish radio, of course. And by the way, not from a Simpsons episode. Are you ready for this?
I can't wait.
Pie de Cody Parkey. 43 yardas. El snap. Le mete el pie. Distancia, dirección. Le dio el poste. ¡No! ¡Falló! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡Los Eagles se van con la victoria! ¡Ay, papá! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡Chicago! ¡Chicago! ¡Nos vamos para New Orleans! ¡Philadelphia gana el partido! ¡Le dio al poste!
The Spanish Frank Sinatra. I think
it's
loosely translated, he missed the kick.
Yeah, well, no, senor, no means no way, no way, no way.
That's fantastic.
And then started singing Chicago. It was great.
Now, did you see, though, you did see the stadium if you went to Soldier Field, but the kick was tipped. It was tipped.
Yeah.
Partially blocked.
Oh.
And that changed the trajectory. Now, so you say, well, Cody Parkey shouldn't be the GOAT because the kick was tipped. However, I would say from 42 yards, you need to get that ball up faster. So I still blame Cody Parkey.
You do. Yeah. I mean, we were bounced from the playoffs by a matter of inches. It hit the upright and then the crossbar, and I really thought it was going to bounce the other way, and it bounced.
Then you haven't seen Cody Parkey hit the crossbars or the uprights earlier this year because it never bounces in.
No, well, it's the sixth time he's done it this season.
Yeah,
he's 26 years old. He's young, rookie, but he feels bad. Dan, he's
got to be an NFL record.
You think you're having a bad day today?
I feel terrible. Let the team down. That's on me. So I have to own it. I have to be a man. And
can't blame the upright.
Unfortunately, that's the way it went today.
So he realizes it.
All right, he's got to lick his wounds, just like Ed Burke. Ed Burke's clanking around, too, a little bit under indictment.
But still defiant. He's going to still run for a 13th term, Dan.
Oh, of course he is.
50 years is not enough. Don't you get it?
Certainly can't get enough of Ed Burke, especially if you like extortion. Then you want him to stick around. He's an impresario, well, up until recently. 8 months of wiretaps, 9,500 conversations.
Ooh.
Boy, I'd like to see some transcripts. Ed Burke, though, telling family and friends to hold fast.
By now, I'm certain that you've learned of yesterday's events. I want you, my friends and supporters, to know that I fully intend to seek re-election. And I am hopeful that you and my many friends will continue to do the work you've already been doing.
Yeah. I appreciate your shaking down help people and your for
support. And I want you to know that my family and I want you and your family to have a healthy and wonderful new year.
Oh.
You know what? That's so sweet.
Well, thanks so much, Uncle Ed.
Gosh.
Isn't he great?
Mayor Emanuel responded to him stepping down as chairman of the Finance Committee.
And I believe this reflects his affection for the city and his deep respect for the institution of the City Council.
Yeah. He loves the city so much, he's going to extort anyone who tries to open a business in his ward or anywhere else. He's a property. By the way, some of those clients of Ed Burke probably seeking new representation at this point.
You
So
think.
that'll be to the benefit of Madigan. So the good news is that, there'll just be a move away from one of the legalized kingpins in Chicago to the other, lest you think anything would change with Ed Burke's indictment, much less his conviction. Continuing our series of candidates for mayor, our discussions with them in the context of this. Oh, plus another esteemed member of the city council.
Yeah. Oh,
Ricky Munoz.
Yeah, and we had he didn't have his wife on, but we played her audio about how he's been addictive and a womanizer. And she finally had the strength to come forward.
And have him arrested for abusing her.
Yeah.
So another...
They went to court on the same day. It was a great day for Chicago politics.
I just don't want Ricky Munoz to get lost because, again, two Latino community leaders, Ed Burke and Ricky Munoz. They care about the people. They represent the people, you see. And, Munoz is a child compared to Burke. He's only been there for 2 decades.
25 to his 50.
Yeah. Yeah. So Munoz not running for re-election. But should he step down? Has anybody asked any of the P-hat leftists in office in this city and state? Should Ricky Munoz step down? Anybody in the Chicago press corps querying Democrats about that? Much less Ed Burke? Well, let's query a Democrat. He's LaShawn Ford. He's a state rep, and he's a candidate for mayor, West Side state legislator. LaShawn, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan and Amy. And I got to say, Amy had the best line. The Bears were bounced from the playoffs.
Yep.
No pun intended.
There you go. So why don't we start with some of your Democrat colleagues there, Ed Burke and Ricky Munoz. Should they be bounced from the city council?
I got to tell you, if their allegations are true, I would say yes. There's no doubt that we should always let the justice system take place and justice prevail, and people guilty of crime should always pay the price. And so, we have to have a society that's fair. I've had my incident with the feds, and so I'm not so quick to just say that a person should just be thrown under the bus. But if Ed Burke is guilty of extortion, then he should go to jail. But I also know that it's got to be a time where we get rid of the politics that closes government off and only make it work for a few of the well-connected people. And that's what all of this 50 years of being in power has done.
Well, they're all connected. Toni Preckwinkle obviously is connected. She's giving back the money that was raised at the fundraiser that he had at his home, but she's calling on him to resign. So Susana Mendoza, Gary Chico, Bill Daley, they're all trying to separate themselves from Ed Burke, but they're all, don't you believe, in on it with him since day one?
It's clear that that's the circle of money, and those people stick together. And what we have is a network of people that's been holding Chicago hostage, keeping us from going forward, keeping Chicago taxpayers at bay, and constantly, because of their corruption in the city council, because of their corruption in the county, because of the corruption in the state, taxpayers pay. And we continue to go after taxpayers because we have to continue to pay for the corruption of politicians.
The Tribune, Chicago Tribune, opined over the weekend about the quote-unquote corruption tax in Chicago. And they offered what I consider rhetorical questions, but I'll ask you to answer them. The Tribune editorial board asks, is Chicago the world-class city its mayors brag about, or is it a land of despots? And if its public officials didn't levy a corruption tax, how many more businesses and jobs would call this city home? That's a particularly salient question for you, representing the West Side, which has a dearth of businesses and jobs.
Yeah, I think Chicago politics have been corrupted for such a long time, and then we have a Daley coming back to drain the system even more. There would be no way the Daley family would be wealthy as they are, if it wasn't for the taxpayers. The taxpayers have made the Daley family rich, wealthy, and now they want to come back and do it to us some more. It's ridiculous. I mean, we have to take the Chicago politics and the state government back to the people and let them run the government.
So why do you want to be mayor of Chicago? That is a job that it just bewilders me that anyone would want to have that job.
You just heard why. You get rich.
Yeah, I live in Chicago, and you can look at my, and I heard that part about get rich. You can look at my V2s and where I raise money. I don't try to raise money and be connected to be owned and bought by lobbyists. Why do I want to run? I mean, I'm a taxpayer in Chicago. I have seen how government has destroyed the fabric of Chicago's communities, and I don't plan to leave Chicago. I plan to be a taxpayer in Chicago and stand up and make it better. I know out of all of the candidates in the race for mayor, none of them have the goals of making sure that the people downtown, the people in Lincoln Park, the people in Streeterville no longer have to suffer from high property taxes because we're neglecting the west and south sides of Chicago. The people in Chicago suffer because of the neglect of black people in this city, and we have to make sure that everybody has a fair shot as it relates to education. We can't continue to do business as usual.
Well, wait a second. You've got all these other esteemed black candidates and office holders, Tony Preckwinkle, not office holders, Lori Lightfoot, Willie Wilson, and then an office holder in Dorothy Brown of sorts. What about all of those representatives of the black community? If we're going to play this, which I hate to play, this race identity politics that, you have to be black to represent black people, you have to be Latino to represent Latin people. Right.
You don't look, and white people have said that they would vote for a black person because they did it for president. They do it all over the country.
Of course.
They've done it for years. So I'm not concerned about that. I just know that we can't have Daley as the mayor because he's been a part of the destruction of Chicago. We can't have Paul Vallis as mayor. He's been a part of the destruction of Chicago school systems. We can't have Tony Preckwinkle as mayor. She's entrenched and been a part of the destruction of communities. We can't have Susan Mendoza. She's been a part of the destruction of the community. And I'm just saying that if we're going to turn the page in Chicago, we have to make sure that we have someone that understands the heart and soul of the communities and that's willing to stand up and fight the powers to bring the government back to the common people so that we could stop raising taxes. We have to destroy the process that we're all under now.
Right. Well, we need to have some revenue coming in, and a lot of your opponents were suggesting a commuter tax. But if you look at what cities have a commuter tax, Detroit and Philadelphia. And I don't think that that's working for them. How do you feel about a commuter tax?
Oh, I'm totally against a commuter tax. And, what makes no sense to me is that we continue to talk about just taxing people without even talking about fixing the structural problems that we have in the city. So we're going to say, let's just bring more revenue in so the government could continue to waste it, and we haven't fixed the problems that we have before we even take more taxpayer dollars. So we can talk about more taxes, but we're not going to talk about why we have to raise taxes and why we have this structural deficit in the city of Chicago. It's unfair to taxpayers that we continue to talk about give me more of your hard-earned money without talking about fixing the problem.
Yeah, or certainly no discussion about reducing the spend. It's just dope, gambling, and big government. Those are the three prongs of the political class in Chicago, right?
Right, and that's unfortunate. And just because we bring in, as we have seen, just because we raise taxes, the bag tax, the sugar tax, you name all the taxes that the city continues to raise on the working families, driving people deeper into poverty, driving people into homelessness, it's never enough because we're not fixing the problem. And so if we don't talk about fixing the problems and making sure that we shut off all the cronyism in the city of Chicago, you know, black people are not the only people that shut out of this government. There are struggling white people.
Oh, he was about to say who else was shut out of the government, and he got shut down. Oh, there we go. LaShawn, sorry, you were cutting out.
Yeah, I mean, black people are not the only people struggling in this city that's paying,
right, true.
That's paying taxes. White people in Streeterville, they struggle too. People in Lincoln Park struggle. It may look like people are doing well, but everyone is suffering under this attack on taxpayers.
That's true, and then one of the reasons I like LaShawn is that he's not going to play the racial identity politics stuff. LaShawn, where can people get more information about your candidacy?
FordForChicago.com, and my commitment, Dan and Amy, is to make sure that back to people, and we have to cut the cronyism in Chicago, and my campaign will give a chance to reset and destroy the old guards in Chicago.
He is LaShawn Ford, state representative from the West Side, currently running for mayor of the city of Chicago. LaShawn, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
Take care. Also, if you want an extended discussion on the issues, but LaShawn sat down 6-8 weeks ago with me for an Against the Current long-form interview. We covered a lot of topics, so you can get that at upstream-ideas.com.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Imagine your business being on the first page of a search engine like Google, or at the top. What could that do for your bottom line? The answer is at Salem Surround. Digital marketing that surrounds your potential customers with your message wherever they engage, search, surf, socialize, or review. When they're on their computer, mobile phone, or tablet, your ad is there. When they attend a sporting event, conference, or concert, you're in front of them on their mobile device. When they walk into your competitor's store, your message entices them to visit you as well. Salem Surround takes the mystery of digital marketing off your shoulders, letting you run your business while we deliver customers. Now, there are no limitations on where you can reach customers with Salem Surround. Total market penetration for increased ROI. Learn more by logging on to surroundchicago.com. Surroundchicago.com. Connecting you with new customers.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. We all know increasing revenue's tough, but did you know that 100% of main sources of income fail? The odds are 100% that your current main source of income will someday no longer exist. 439 of 1955's original Fortune 500 are no longer around, yet their industries and even their product lines still thrive. What happened to these companies? Simple. They didn't believe that 100% of main sources of income fail. They never added a second revenue model. For years, my friends at Income Store have helped both households and businesses build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I had cancer. I have fibromyalgia, I have nerve damage and fatigue, I have thalassemia, I'm hypoglycemic. So my life since cancer, I've had to learn how to live with it. But starting Balance of Nature, I felt it the first month. I felt different. It made such a difference that now I wake up, my head feels clearer, I have more energy. Very rarely does my body cramp up anymore. It's the best thing. It's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I just would not be what I am today if I didn't start Balance of Nature.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The Wealth 365 Summit is the largest online-only wealth conference in the world and features over 70 live wealth-focused topics, including stock trading, futures, options, forex, retirement planning, and more. Best of all, you get to participate from the comfort of your home or office absolutely free. To secure your free pass to Wealth 365, just text the word NOW to 411-411. Be a part of a world-class financial conference with zero travel expenses, no crowds or outside distractions. Wealth 365 makes it possible for you to have access to the highest quality financial speakers, celebrity wealth experts, and institutions free. Wealth 365 is a 6-day event that puts you in the company of the world's leading experts in business and personal finance right from the comfort of your home or office. Find out why industry juggernauts like Forbes and Investors Business Daily choose Wealth 365. Text NOW to 411-411 to secure your free pass. Text NOW to 411-411. Text NOW to 411-411.
Text and data rates may apply.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy picking up our discussion with State Representative LaShawn Ford, candidate for mayor of Chicago. Hey, the largest employers in the city of Chicago, the list was released by Crain's for 2018.
Yeah.
Who's
the largest?
We'll take a stab.
No, I don't.
You don't want to take a stab. Okay, great.
I don't want to
It's
play
fun
your
playing with
reindeer
you.
games. Thanks for coming to work today.
Number 1, federal government.
Okay.
Number 2, Chicago Public Schools. Number 3, City of Chicago. Number 4, Cook County.
Oh, my gosh.
Number 9, State of Illinois.
So that's the number one business in Illinois.
Government.
Government.
5 of the top 9, and rounding out the top 10 includes Advocate Healthcare, Northwestern Memorial Healthcare, University of Chicago. So they receive huge dollars from the government, too. Government-centric. Because you wonder why? You wonder why things aren't going so well? Illinois, only state in the Midwest with more government jobs than manufacturing jobs. Only state in the Midwest. More government, more politicians, more elected office holders than any state in the nation, despite being the 6th most populous and falling. More units of government than any state in the nation. So that's your path, because the Democrats, the new day the Democrats are promising under Team Pritzker, Madigan, Pritzwinkle, is more of the same. So if you think big government, dope, and gambling is the way to a better Illinois, you got your party.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Christian Bale should have taken his wife's advice. We'll do that at 7:47.
And later, is border security a national emergency? We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
41 degrees. The Bears fall to the Eagles, 16-15. The Eagles with a wild card playoff win here in Chicago. President Trump says an al-Qaeda leader who planned the deadly bombing of the USS Cole has been killed. In a tweet, the president saying Jamal al-Badawi was killed in a U.S.-led airstrike in Yemen on New Year's Day. Badawi was wanted by the FBI for his role in the attack in 2000, which left 17 American sailors dead. Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney says the president is no longer insisting that southern border wall be made of solid concrete.
He was willing to agree, and he mentioned this at the Rose Garden press conference, to take a concrete wall off the table.
He made the comments on NBC's Meet the Press. Harris County Sheriff's deputies in Texas are looking to charge a Houston suspect in the shooting death of a 7-year-old, Jasmine Barnes. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez saying yesterday that 20-year-old Eric Black was formally charged with capital murder. An officer from Provo, Utah is dead this morning after trying to arrest a fugitive overnight. 29-year-old officer Joseph Shiners tried to apprehend the 40-year-old suspect 10 p.m. in a parking lot. Officer was struck by gunfire from the suspect and died at a nearby hospital. Candidate for Chicago Mayor Toni Preckwinkle trying to distance herself from Alderman Ed Burke after he was charged with attempted extortion last week. Cook County Board President says she's being forced to return $116,000 raised at a campaign fundraiser at Burke's home last January. Police continue their investigation after a man was struck and killed over the weekend in Elgin. Police say a man driving an SUV Saturday night ran into the victim in the 1800 block of Larkin Avenue. No charges have been filed so far. Liz Cheney is not happy with how Christian Bale talked about playing her father, former Vice President Dick Cheney, in the movie Vice. In last night's Golden Globes, after Bale claimed his Best Actor award, he had this to say.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
Shortly after that, the Wyoming Congresswoman tweeted out that Satan probably inspired to do this too. Link attached. The link was to an article detailing an arrest for an assault that allegedly occurred between the actor, his mother, and sister 10 years ago. Blackhawks beat the Penguins 5-3. Nets over the Bulls 117-100. The news service of Discover. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. 7:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager can always expect one thing from the left.
He feels that marriage equality is bad for straight couples. I've never said that in my life. You know how often things are made up about me by people on the left? Always. That's how often. That is the reason that they can be at peace with what they believe, because they make up things that they oppose.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
You're losing business to online companies. Competitors are using social media to rob you of sales. If your current website is 5 years behind the times, or even one, contact us at Salem Surround. Digital marketing that surrounds potential customers with your message wherever they engage, search, surf, socialize, or review. We offer a free analysis of your digital marketing effectiveness and suggest methods that could dramatically increase bottom line. Salem Surround takes the mystery of digital marketing off your shoulders, letting you do what you do best. Run your business while we deliver customers. Is your business taking full advantage of digital communication to reach more people? Are your competitors ahead of you? Now, there are no limitations on where you can reach customers with Salem Surround. Total market penetration for increased ROI. Learn more by logging on to surroundchicago.com. Surroundchicago.com, connecting you with new customers.
Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head? Comb it over? Wear a hat? Just stop. This isn't 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out today, because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone who texts GROW to 85850. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad, because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Let them show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Text GROW to 85850. Ask about the Bosley Guarantee, GROW to 85850.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:36, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Northbound I-55 traffic is jammed. Weber to past Lamont Road with a crash in the right lane. Farther north to Stevenson is heavy central to Kedzie. It's an hour and 10 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. It's 36 minutes from Tri-State. Outbound 44 minutes to 3:55. Edens, 20 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 25. Kennedy, 42 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 42 as well. Eisenhower, 46 minutes, 390 to the circle. I-545. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Fisher Ford, both with just 1 or 2 minute delays approaching the verge. It's heavy on the southbound tri-state Atkinson to Bradley. Northbound from the Stevenson to 31st and from the Reagan Tillway to the Grand Avenue curve. That's traffic. I'm Jim Calamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 hour heating and air conditioning weather center, periods of rain ending this morning. Early afternoon, clouds and sun, breezy and not as cool. High 53. Currently 42. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, if you watch the Sunday Talkies, and why would you? We can summarize them here for you, and then you don't have to endure the nonsense of it. 2 questions repeated in a Pavlovian way by the fungible hosts of all these talk shows. Does Trump have the national emergency power to direct the military to build whatever structures he wants along the border? And 2, why not just fund the small portion of the government that's furloughed and then continue negotiating with respect to funding for border security?
Well, the big talk on Friday is that, we'll have a pathway to citizenship for Dreamers in exchange for the border wall. But no Democrats bit.
DACA's always been on the table. And so here's, does President Trump have the power? Does he have those emergency powers? The answer is yes, and don't believe me, conservative Republican. Believe Adam Smith, the incoming Democrat House Armed Services Committee chairman, who answered the question posed by fungible Sunday talkie host Clinton Foundation donor Zero.
Does President Trump have the ability, have the authority to declare a national emergency, have the military build his wall?
Well, unfortunately, the short answer is yes. There is a provision in law that says the president can declare an emergency. It's been done a number of times, but primarily it's been done to build facilities in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Yeah.
Like the green zones and...
Yeah. So good that it's been done to create safe spaces, if you will, for our troops overseas. So how about creating safe space along the border for Border Patrol? Works for me. Adam Smith gave the answer yes. Now, what about this other matter of, hey, just capitulate and give the Democrats what they want, which is end of the government shutdown, and then continue negotiating, knowing that they'll be obstinate because they got what they wanted. Why wouldn't you do that? As if the answer isn't obvious. But Lindsey Graham gives an excellent dissertation in response to that question on Face the Nation.
Well, there are about 800,000 federal workers who are in this limbo, not being sure when they're going to get paid. So with that in mind, with them in mind, why can't you reopen the government while you argue about the things you just laid out?
Why would you negotiate with somebody who calls you a racist if you want a wall, who gives you $1 for a wall when the Democratic Party supported $25 billion in the past? We're not going to negotiate with people who see the world this way. We'll negotiate with Dick Durbin, but I'm not going to negotiate with somebody who calls the Border Patrol agents a bunch of Nazis when they're trying to defend the border against a mob. These caravans have changed everything. The reason you need $5 billion now and not 1.6 is the border is deteriorating in terms of security. We've got 11,000 unaccompanied minors coming from Central America, and it costs us $750 a day to house these minors, and only God knows what they go through to get here. The Democrats see our law enforcement officers as the problem. We see the illegal immigrants, the coyotes, and the drug dealers as a problem.
Well, what about those people who work for Homeland Security, who are carrying out the policies you're talking about, who are not going to get paid? What about the Coast Guard?
Yeah, they're being held hostage. They're being held hostage by people who say you need $1 to secure the border. They're being held hostage by people.
So you don't want to open the government and then continue talking?
I do want to open up the government, but the goal is not to open up the government. The goal is to fix a broken immigration system.
Bingo. Bingo. I'll tell you again, when Lindsey Graham is good, and it's not always, he's really good. He was good at the Kavanaugh hearing, and he was good on Sunday on this topic. For more on this said topic, we're pleased to be joined by Matthew Continetti, who is the editor of the Washington Free Beacon. Matt, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
What about President Trump's posture right now? I'll keep it shut down for months, maybe a year. Shouldn't take that long, particularly if he decides to exercise his emergency powers. So should he move in the direction of unilateral action, or should he continue this partial shutdown theater with Democrats?
Well, I think he's holding the threat of emergency action in reserve in case the talks continue to just be stuck at an impasse, which they've been for several weeks now. We're now in the third week of this shutdown. I think if it goes one more week, it will become the longest shutdown in history. Of course, it's a partial shutdown, which is different from the previous record holder, which was the famous shutdown between Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton in 1995. So he has that emergency power in reserve, and right now they're continuing to be at a standstill because really neither side has much incentive to give in.
But what about, the Democrats seem hung up on a concrete wall, and they seem to like the idea of a steel barrier wall instead of concrete? Or is that just a stall tactic?
Oh, that's a stall tactic. If you listen to Nancy Pelosi, she's now saying that the wall is an abomination, and I'm not sure she would extend that, or decline to extend that to the steel barrier that you can see through. This has become really kind of a values issue for both sides, and that's why it's so hard to resolve because, on the one hand, Pelosi's looking at the polls and she sees a majority is against a wall and a majority is for opening the government. But then President Trump's looking at his polls and he sees that the Republican Party is right there beside him and really believes not only in border security but also having a wall. So until one side really begins to feel pain and pressure from their own base, this is going to continue.
Well, right, and it's being ratcheted up. Obviously, where the energy is on the left is not feeling any pressure per the celebratory reaction to Rashida Tlaib's call to impeach the MFer and Ocasio-Cortez on 60 Minutes yesterday night saying the president is obviously a racist. That doesn't seem to me that that's going to facilitate productive talks going forward.
That's right. Now, it's always important to remember that people like Tlaib and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they generate all the headlines, but they're really not representative of the Democratic Party at large. You have to remember the Democratic Party is, at its root, the party of the government employee unions. And there is the danger for the Democrats that if this shutdown continues to stretch into months, as the president has threatened, those government employee unions are going to say to Pelosi and Schumer, come on, guys, these are your voters that are suffering. These are your campaign donors that are suffering. And you're continuing to kind of have them hanging out there in the wind for what? For $5 billion, which is less than a rounding error in a 1 day's spend of the federal government. So I actually think I have somewhat of a contrarian position. I think the longer this goes on, the more leverage President Trump has.
Because Friday, they're not going to get paid this Friday, and that's going to be a big deal. TSA Union says that so far 170 agents have called out each day last week. And then you have Border Patrol agents and you have ICE agents.
So replace them.
Replace them?
Yeah, honestly, you want to put, sorry to interrupt, Matt, but
Ronald Reagan and the air traffic controllers?
Well, look, you don't think that there are people out there that would welcome the opportunity to get into the civil service? Let's put that to a market test. As needed.
Right. Well, this is where the competing pressure comes in, which is that, last week the first action of the Democratic House majority was to put these bills to the floor, reopening the government and kind of severing some of the agencies from the Department of Homeland Security bill. And, several Republicans in the House voted to reopen the government. Not many, but less than 10, but still that was something. And then I think we're up to 3 senators Republican senators saying that the government should reopen. So on the one hand, you have the pressure on the Democrats from, again, I think the public employees unions, who the longer this goes on is going to say, Pelosi, you're hurting your own supporters here. And then on the other hand, you have the Republicans who are in cycle in 2020, who come from, in particular in the Senate, states that Donald Trump did not win in 2016. And so who folds first? I mean, that's really this is a poker game. It's going to come down to whose pain threshold is higher. Now, when I look at Donald Trump, I see a guy with a pretty high pain threshold. So I don't think it's going to end anytime soon.
Speaking of pain threshold, so what about inside Republican ranks, the Romney op-ed criticizing the president, as well as Rick Wilson, this sort of consultant, cable network gadfly, not only going after President Trump on this whole wall funding shutdown issue, but talking about his 10-toothed supporters. How much real inertia is there within Republican ranks to support a primary challenge or to back up the rhetoric of a Mitt Romney or even a Rick Wilson?
Sure. Well, I would distinguish between Romney on the one hand and the campaign strategist on the other.
I agree.
The Romney op-ed really is not much different from what he's said in the past, which is, if the president says something that he finds objectionable, he'll say, I find that objectionable. On policy, actually, Romney doesn't have many strong disagreements with the president, especially on border security. In fact, in a subsequent interview after the op-ed was published, he said, well, I'm with the president on border security and the wall. So that's kind of one of the ironies of Romney. I mean, he's saying, I'm going to criticize the president when I think it's necessary on tone, but really when it comes to policy, for the most part, Romney is basically a Republican, as is President Trump. Now, there's some dissent, obviously, within Republican ranks, a variety of attitudes toward the president, some public, some not. But I don't think the space is there for a successful primary challenge. You may find someone in the coming year declare a presidential primary challenge on the Republican side. But the history of these things, they don't succeed. That's one, I think, disincentive for a Republican to try to challenge the president at this point. And then the other reason is there's no room. The president continues to be extremely popular. He's more popular now than other presidents who did take a primary challenge from within their own party. So, media likes to speculate about it, but I don't see it happening at this time.
He is Matthew Continetti. He is the editor of the Washington Free Beacon. Matthew, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
For more than 50 years, Mueller CPA, a certified public accounting and business advisory firm, has been serving clients in Chicagoland. Dave Nissen, Mueller's managing partner, is here to explain Mueller CPA's history, journey, and opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. Our firm was started by Al Mueller as a one-person CPA firm in 1968. Through growth and partnerships, Mueller CPA has blossomed from a regional firm to an organization that provides services worldwide. Mueller is a reflection of our years of listening and caring for our clients, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for our professionals and support personnel. We value the human side of our business and recognize it as being the most important element of our success. We are growing, we are hiring, and we welcome your interest in our firm.
If you are looking for your first opportunity or your forever career, join an award-winning team that cares about you. Visit the career page at MuellerCPA.com or call Dave directly at 630-524-5274.
Message and data rates may apply.
Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that furthered your career and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors, all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? To find out more, text SPARK to 79645. That's SPARK to 79645. Start your online MBA, information management, or business analytics master's program from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the W.P. Carey Business Graduate Programs online. Text SPARK to 79645. That's SPARK to 79645.
Come on, kids. We're late.
Honey, the car won't start.
Mom, the dog just sat on my science project.
Life can be stressful, but getting life insurance shouldn't be. That's why there's Ethos. Ethos is a modern kind of life insurance that's super fast, incredibly affordable, and very uncomplicated. At GetEthos.com, there are no medical exams for policies covering under $1 million, no hours of paperwork, or meetings with pushy representatives. It only takes 10 minutes to apply, and you can rest assured knowing you've taken steps to protect your family. And in most cases, with Ethos, you can have that peace of mind for less than a cup of coffee a day, with no hidden fees. Having life insurance can free you from stress. Getting life insurance shouldn't cause it. Discover how uncomplicated life insurance can be at Ethos. Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to GetEthos.com. That's ETHOS. GetEthos.com. GetEthos.com.
I'm Dan Proft.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
And if you're a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then listen up.
Once again, our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway to raise money for children suffering from poverty in Haiti. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children this year.
And here's how your business can be a part of this. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor, and AM 560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. One more time, 847-472-8951.
At the CMA Foundation, we believe every child should have the access and opportunity to participate in quality music programs. I'm Sarah Evans. Music has always been a huge part of my life. Music education isn't just important if you're going to make it your career. It also helps children develop the abilities that set them up for lifelong success. Music is transformative, and I want to ensure that it is never silenced. Learn more at itstartswithme.org.
The Army National Guard is committed to keeping the country safe and our communities secure. Composed of hundreds of thousands of citizen soldiers from all walks of life, the Guard is always ready to respond to local or national emergencies. We protect the homeland. We're always there when called upon, and in every state and territory, we stand guard for our communities. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard. Aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association at this station.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson with a great way to start a new year. Get the MyPillow 4-pack. You'll be so happy with 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, plus free shipping. All for the normal price of 1 premium MyPillow. You know, I've been telling you for years that they're the best pillows money can buy. The bottom line is you will sleep better and feel better. MyPillow is washable, dryable, and has a money-back offer if you're not happy. And here's more good news. You can still get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress topper and pet beds that you've heard me rave about. Just be sure to use the promo code Amy to get the MyPillow 4-pack offer with free shipping and the 30% discount on everything else, including mattress toppers and pet beds. Visit MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. And don't forget to use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Golden Globes last night. Amy watched them, so you didn't have to.
Well, you left the Bears game early so you could watch the Golden Globes.
Yeah, right.
I know, I'm on to you.
But I did catch Christian Bale. He get the best actor for portraying Cheney in Vice. No surprise there, even though the movie, according to Michael Medved, who I take as an authority, was god-awful. Christian Bale started out good. He should have taken his own advice from his wife, as he explained.
Thank you to my beautiful wife, who told me less is more. Say less right now. She knows the dumb crap that can come out of my mouth at times. I can sink and ruin a perfectly good movie and a so-so career in one speech. So thank you for that advice, my love. I wouldn't be working without her.
Nice foreshadowing, because then he gets political.
He said, I've got to find somebody who can be absolutely charisma-free and reviled by everybody. So he went, that's got to be Bale in it. You know, thank you. And for all the competition, I will be cornering the market on charisma-free. What do you think? Mitch McConnell next? That could be good, couldn't it?
Charisma-free a-hole.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
Oh, my God. That is sick. That's not even fun. People are clapping in the audience. I watched it at the time. I thought it was gross. But I just can't stop.
Trained seals.
Yeah, trained seals. But Christian Bale, every time he speaks, he should go through things with his wife first.
Take your I want you off set, you. No, don't just be sorry. Think for 1 second. What the are you doing? Are you professional or not? Yes, I am. Do I walk around and rip that? No, shut. Do I want? No, no, don't shut me up. Am I gonna walk around and rip down in the middle of a scene? Then walking right through, da-da-da-da, like this in the background. What the is it with you? What don't you understand? You got any idea about, hey, it's distracting having somebody walking up behind Bryce in the middle of the scene.
That's that was to like a key grip on the studio set.
Yeah,
it was
like a Terminator movie, and they were filming a scene, and he went off on the guy who was walking behind him.
So what was he saying about charisma-free a-holes? What was he saying about being inspired by Satan? Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll switch gears and get back to substance and away from Hollywood post-haste. Andy McCarthy joins us with an update on the Mueller investigation / forthcoming report at 8:08.
And later, another reason why Dan Proft is single. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Bears fall to the Eagles. A man struck and killed by a vehicle in Elgin. And the Blackhawks beat the Penguins. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Could steel be the compromise? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump says he'd be willing to make a steel wall, not concrete.
We have a crisis at the border of drugs, of human beings being trafficked all over the world.
And he might declare a national emergency to build the wall. Democratic Senator Chris Coons says that'll surely lead to a court challenge, but he also told Fox,
I am someone who's willing to see more border fencing as long as we choose a technology that DHS says is going to be effective. And I do think his moving towards steel slats rather than concrete wall, if it holds, is important.
It's day 17 of the partial government shutdown. President Trump says he can relate to the 800,000 federal workers not getting paid. The president also tweeted about what he calls the totally dishonest fake news, being crazed lunatics knowingly lying to make him look as bad as possible. Amid a lot of fact-checking in the media, calling many things the president says not truthful. National Security Advisor John Bolton's in Turkey after making news in Israel. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring live from London.
Dave, President Trump has pledged to pull U.S. forces out of Syria, but John Bolton saying that won't be done in a hurry.
We're going to be discussing the president's decision to withdraw, but to do so from northeast Syria in a way that makes sure that ISIS is defeated.
Bolton also saying he'll press Turkish officials for reassurances that Kurdish militias who fought alongside Americans against ISIS will be protected when the U.S. leaves. Dave.
Simon, they're the pre-Oscars.
And the Golden Globe goes to Rami Malek.
He won for Bohemian Rhapsody, which got Best Drama Movie. Green Book was the Golden Globe winner for Top Musical or Comedy. And Christian Bale got Best Actor in that category for his role as Dick Cheney in Vice.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
The Americans and the Kaminsky Method won as the best TV shows. This is Fox News.
Cloudy skies, 42 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Eagles beat the Bears in the wild card playoffs at Soldier Field, 16-15 last night. Bears linebacker Khalil Mack says now they have to move forward and build off this successful season.
Absolutely. You see the potential, but it's up to guys to take this and learn from it and get better in this offseason, including myself. And so that's what we got to look forward to now.
Allen Robinson, 143 yards and a touchdown for the Bears in defeat. The search for a new head coach for the Broncos will swarm into Chicago today as many team officials will be here to interview Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. Lame Duck Mayor Rahm Emanuel ordering an outside audit of the city's controversial workers' compensation program, previously handled by embattled Alderman Ed Burke. Burke became chairman of that $100 million a year program in 1983. Federal agency tasked with guaranteeing U.S. airport security is acknowledging an increase in the number of employees calling off work during the partial government shutdown. For example, nearly 6% of the TSA workforce at Dallas-Fort Worth International called out sick last Friday. So far, O'Hare and Midway are not reporting any unusual screening delays. Blackhawks beat the Penguins 5-3. Nets over the Bulls 117-100. College hardwood, Northwestern trims the Fighting Illini 68-66. DePaul over Seton Hall 75-74. 8:03 time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Eli Lilly is buying a cancer treatment company, Loxo Oncology. Lilly is paying $8 billion in cash. Loxo makes a treatment for cancers that can be identified by genetic testing, and it's working on other cancer medications. General Electric shares are higher after reports that it is talking with Apollo to sell its jet leasing unit. Starbucks is making some changes, trying to revive sales in its core coffee shops. The Wall Street Journal says the company's new chief executive, Kevin Johnson, is scaling down some of the biggest initiatives from its founder, Howard Schultz. That means plans to expand its luxury roastery coffee shops will be cut back. Schultz wanted to open up to 1,000 cafes. The new plan is to see if 6 to 10 cafes are a success before building more. Customer traffic at Starbucks was down last year. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's a new year, and with it comes the feeling of a fresh start. So this year, what will you do with your fresh start? Will you start working out, learn a new skill, or even resolve to travel more? Yeah, well, whatever your new venture is, you can be sure that in 2019 you'll get the same great level of breaking news and intelligent opinion you've always gotten right here. It's our resolution. Here's to a prosperous new year. AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie capsules contain 100% vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind. And it is undeniably one of the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water, some a little higher, some a little lower. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to take out the water and air, leaving only whole food, which maintains 99.9% of its original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health. Make sense? To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
(8:07), a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Northbound I-55, traffic is jammed. Weber to past Plymouth Road. The right lane is blocked with a crash or several crashes of vehicles in the right ditch. An hour and 14 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 40 minutes for the Tri-State. Outbound 55 minutes, Lakeshore Drive to 355. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 30. Kennedy, 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 41. The Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. 35 for Manheim, outbound 55 to 390. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, Tidy to the merge, Bishop Ford 25. Southbound Tri-State heavy, 132 to Atkinson after a crash. Northbound scattered delays started Archer. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Breezy and not as cold. Periods of rain ending early afternoon today, high 53. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 37. Strong winds developing tomorrow. A couple of morning showers, then cooler times of clouds and sun, the high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Okay, we'll play it one more time.
Oh, yes.
The Philadelphia Spanish announcer's call of Cody's clank.
Pie de Cody Parkey. 43 yardas. El snap. Le mete el pie. Distancia, dirección. Le dio el poste. ¡No! ¡Falló! ¡Oh! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! ¡Los Eagles se van con la victoria! ¡Ay, papá! ¡No, señor! ¡No, señor! Chicago, Chicago.
All right, now that's a low blow.
Para New
It's rubbing it
Orleans.
in our faces.
Philadelphia gana el partido. Le dio el poste.
Oh, gosh.
Because we were ahead most of the game, so it was a little, it was awful. I feel so bad. Who's having a worse day today? Him or Ed Burke?
I'll tell you what. O Senor is my new favorite broadcaster catchphrase, replacing Dick Enberg's. Oh, my! That's good. All right, switching gears. But he's a sports fan. Everybody has to enjoy that call. That transcends politics and sports and
Just
city
such raw,
loyalties.
real emotion.
I don't know
Love it.
I don't know if McCarthy's an East Coaster, so he's probably like a Giants or Jets fan. Can you imagine?
Well, let's find out.
We'll talk about that, and we'll
Yeah.
also get his thoughts on Syria and the Mueller investigation. We're pleased to be joined again by Andy McCarthy, former Chief Assistant U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, contributing editor at National Review. Andy, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I'm a Jet fan who's heard no shortage of No Senor for the last 30 years. So
Yes.
my heart goes out to you guys today. And of all the places, I'm sure you wouldn't have liked this if it was a game against New York, but Philadelphia's got a sting. It's like the one place in the country where the fan base on days where they don't have games, they go to the airport and boo the plane landing.
No kidding,
So,
right? Exactly. Booing Santa Claus, famously, precisely. All right. Well, I want to get your take. Let's get, not the legal realm, the foreign policy realm for a second, because you wrote about Syria And you sort of have the same position I have. I'm not sure why I'm supposed to be so upset about this troop withdrawal from Syria, even a conditional one, as John Bolton announced over the weekend, saying that this is pending a firm commitment from Turkey not to target the U.S.'s Kurdish allies. There's an interesting piece by a retired general in the Chattanooga newspaper, of all places. B.B. Bell is his name. And he spent 39 years in the service, 13 as a general. He wrote this, all of our senior military leaders, including me, were born and raised with the deployed expeditionary conflict mindset where America as the world's policeman was the right thing to do. We were all nurtured in the globalist belief that in the post-World War II era, it was America's responsibility and indeed duty to police the planet and make everything safe for democracy. I spent 14 years deployed overseas, 10 of those as a general. Out there, I was born and raised to go forth and present America as the global policeman. And I did my job. Looking back, all this resembles what the Roman generals were taught to do by the empire. Go out into the vast empire, establish Roman rule of law, make friends and allies, and where you run into issues, bring military force to bear to solve the problem. That's what the Romans did, and that's pretty much the same thing we've been doing for the last 70 years plus. And he's, of course, suggesting not necessarily to our benefit. So I just thought about his review of American foreign policy post-World War II in the context of the Syria withdrawal and the hooting and hollering across the aisle about Trump's decision.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm very sympathetic to the general on that. I think that, Dan, that there's been like too much of a swing of the pendulum away from the Vietnam War era, where our veterans were just treated shamefully, and anyone who was associated with that conflict was kind of tuned out. Mm-hmm. I think we have an over-reliance now on the generals. I think I have great respect for the war-fighting capabilities and ingenuity of people like, Petraeus and McChrystal and General Mattis, General McMaster. But as far as public policy is concerned, their opinion isn't worth anything more than mine. And I just think that sometimes we now treat, we have to do what the generals say, as if that was like, that came down from Mount Sinai. It seems to me that after World War II, when the world sort of delusionally decided that there was nothing worse than war, which was an odd thing for the generation that fought the Nazis and Japanese imperialism to conclude, that they went to war precisely because there are many things that are more horrific than war, as horrific as war is. But we've gotten away from the idea that you go in when you need your military because there's some American interest that's at stake. You do whatever has to be done, whether it's to achieve victory over the enemy or to get the enemy to withdraw for whatever reason it is that you've sent your military. This idea that in order to vindicate American interests, we have to move into your crappy country for 10 or 20 years and spend $1 trillion to fix what we broke, to me is just preposterous. And it's based on this idea that there's a universal value system that everybody is signed on to, no matter what part of the world and what culture you come from. And everybody wants to live like Americans and Westerners. And if we only would just go in and show you how great Western institutions can be in your country, of course you'll abandon your own culture and your own civilization and sign on to it. Most of the places that we've been in the last 20 years, they don't want American troops there. And the American people don't want American troops to be there. And if you look at what we've achieved in the 20 years since 9/11, and I'm somebody who strongly supported the intervention, particularly in Afghanistan, where we were attacked, you wouldn't even notice that there was much of an American footprint. I mean, in the end of the day, what did we accomplish in Iraq other than turning it into a satellite of Iran?
Changing gears, a few days ago you wrote an article about Trump. He keeps giving Mueller reasons to pursue the collusion probe. Why is that? What is Trump doing, and what should he be doing to try and end this?
Well, I would, Amy, I would think his lawyers would be telling him not to use the word Russia in any time that he could avoid saying it. And, last week he gave one of the most preposterous versions of history. Unimaginable. This idea that the Russians went into Afghanistan because they were being attacked by terrorists. I don't know,
No.
He said that, Russia had terrorists were coming into the country from Afghanistan. Russia's like 2,500 miles from Afghanistan.
You think at least he saw Charlie Wilson's war?
Yes.
Yeah, well, look, Russia went into Afghanistan because of totalitarian communist politics. And basically they had a
communist
pro-Soviet
regime
that was being attacked by fundamentalist Islamic militants because it was trying to change the culture in Afghanistan, which is what we were just talking about, right? And there was a revolt that rose up against it. It didn't have anything to do with terrorists going into Russian territory. It was communist imperialism. And it suggests, first of all, that Trump doesn't understand the geopolitical threat that was posed by the Soviet Union, and that ought to inform people in terms of what Putin's revanchist ambitions are. It suggests that he doesn't understand the roots of modern militant Islam. But to me, as a lawyer who would think about, what would Trump's lawyers be thinking at this point, he's saying exactly what Putin would want him to say. And I just, for the life of me, I don't understand why the president would do that and why he would do it gratuitously. That was like apropos of nothing. Somebody starts to talk about the wall and the current standoff in Washington over the fact that a part of the government isn't funded, so we have a partial shutdown. And it's like the president said, that put me in mind of the 1979 Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. Really?
Well, but so on that score, though, despite the astounding ignorance of that statement, I mean, that's not evidence of anything except ignorance, perhaps.
Yeah, I agree with you. But look, what we're trying to assess here is what Mueller is doing, right? And I've always thought that Mueller has two objectives here. One is he wants to make a case on Trump if there's a case to be made. That doesn't mean that, he's necessarily going to go out of his way to do that. I think, as a matter of fact, he won't do that. I don't think there's evidence of a criminal conspiracy between Trump and Russia. Now, if they find something else along the way, he's obviously still digging. But at the moment, I don't think the president's going to be charged criminally. I've always thought the other part of Mueller's agenda, being an old FBI and Justice Department guy, is to justify the very controversial decision that was made by the Obama Justice Department and FBI to open an investigation on the opposition presidential candidate. And I think one of the things that Mueller's report is going to be used for is to say that even if there weren't crimes, there were grave reasons for suspicion that there were very disturbing ties between people in Trump's circle and the Russians, and that explains why Trump said many reprehensible, ingratiating things about Putin, both during the campaign and after the campaign. And I just think Trump continues to give him more evidence of that. I don't know why he would do that.
What about the pronouncements of the left? I mean, I get what you're saying about Trump. What about the pronouncements of the left impacting Mueller's investigation? And, for example, the Democrats are clearly looking for the Mueller report whenever it is delivered to be the basis to substantiate their calls for impeachment, right? And Mueller is seeing, as we're all seeing, the likes of this Rashida Tlaib say we're going to impeach this MFer. And the concern Mueller would have, potentially, I don't know, I'm asking for your insight, that he would be seen as a collaborator with the most vulgar and radical elements of the left who desire impeachment by any means necessary.
Yeah, well, look, this is a big problem, and I think that no matter what Mueller's report says, if he doesn't charge, he'll be, a tool of one side. If he does charge, or if he doesn't charge and he writes a screed that suggests that Trump is unfit, then he's a tool for the other side. What I think, Dan, is that we first have to decide who is Mueller, and therefore what should his report say. I know everybody's talking about, when his report comes out, who will get it, who will decide what the public gets to see of it. My more fundamental question is what should be in the report. Remember, Mueller is merely a prosecutor. He is not counsel to a congressional impeachment committee. He is not, like Bob Woodward, writing a book about Trump's fitness. In the Justice Department, a prosecutor's job is to decide there's enough evidence to charge or there isn't. If there isn't, you don't write a fulsome public report. The Justice Department doesn't speak publicly about the evidence of uncharged people. And if you remember, when they removed Comey from office, it was on the basis, at least in part, of a memorandum that was written by Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, who up until recently has been supervising Mueller's investigation. And the main complaint that Rosenstein had about Comey was that he spoke publicly about the evidence in the case against Hillary Clinton, who was not charged, which was a big violation of Justice Department protocols. So it seems to me, I know that a lot of people will say, well, the evidence against Clinton was publicized, so the evidence against Trump ought to be publicized whether he's charged or not. That's not the way the Justice Department works. And since Mueller is merely a prosecutor, I don't think, if he doesn't have charges to bring against the president, then I don't think he ought to say anything more than there's not sufficient evidence to charge. So,
that would be a moment. That would be a moment.
There should be a big debate about why is it appropriate for Mueller to say anything more than that if he doesn't have charges.
No, it's an interesting point. I mean, in terms of professional ethos, I just don't know if such a thing exists anymore in our politics.
Yeah, right.
He is Andy McCarthy, former Chief Assistant U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, contributing editor at National Review, nationalreview.com, where you can find all of his musings. Andy, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my sympathy, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. And you joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Dan Proft.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
And if you're a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then listen up.
Once again, our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway to raise money for children suffering from poverty in Haiti. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children this year.
And here's how your business can be a part of this. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And AM560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air here on AM560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. One more time. 847-472-8951.
On Target, radio is back on AM 560. Every Sunday night at 9, Dave Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz discuss the red meat issues that affect your life. The Second Amendment, personal liberty, government intrusion. They'll also bring you the latest from the Washington and Springfield swamps. On Target Radio, Sunday nights at 9. Sponsored in part by Safer USA, a leader in firearms education and training. Hackett Equipment, makers of the finest gun range carrying bags. And Geekometrics, experts in data security. AM 560, The Answer.
All right, it's time for Animal Stories with Uncle Dan and Little Amy.
Animal Stories?
Apologies to Larry Luja. And Little Tommy. All right, this is a serious one. Now, we've had a story like this before, and we got some pushback. An officer shooting and killing a dog.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times it happens with pit bulls and it's justified, but there's other breeds of dogs that are a little bit nicer in nature that might not should be shot.
Yeah.
But what's the circumstances surrounding this one?
Faulkner County Deputy Keenan Wallace, canine handler, fired Saturday after shooting a Chihuahua during a service call.
A little Chihuahua?
This is in Arkansas. And
Don't tell me there's video of it.
I won't tell you there's video of it.
But I'm just going to play it for you.
Yeah. Do we have that? Do we have that audio?
I bet
of
it
the
sounds like
officer?
this. Those are little ankle biter dogs. But Chihuahuas, they can be feisty. And I've got 2 on my block, and they think that they're bigger than they actually are. Faulkner
County Sheriff Tim Riles said in a Facebook post that the deputy who was fired injured. He said I believe there were numerous opportunities to de-escalate the situation. So here's the audio.
Oh my gosh!
And there's video of it too.
Oh, all right. Bring
Ready?
it on. I'm ready. I'm sitting down.
Okay. That's why I asked you to step to the road. You see guys acting right now?
You can ask that neighbor right there.
Do
These
you
dogs.
want to step to the road?
No, I don't want to step to the road.
Are you f***ing kidding me? Are you f***ing kidding me?
You're f***ing kidding me.
The Chihuahua's rolling around in the grass.
I'm going to contact the sheriff. Thank you.
I'll be here in just a second.
Thank you.
Stay right
Get
here.
off my f***ing property. You better get off my goddamn property.
I'm telling you, stay right here.
Will you call my attorney?
Call whoever you need.
I'm not talking to you.
Stay
I
right
don't
here.
have to talk
Sir,
to you.
Stay right here.
And I'm especially not talking to him.
Okay, that'll be fine.
Canine officer asked the dog's owner, Doug Kennedy, to come to the road to speak with him. When Kennedy refuses, the deputy walks to him, and this little Chihuahua, of course, that's redundant,
Well, but I'm looking at him.
begins
He's
barking at him.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
what
he
dogs
barks at him,
do.
and you don't see the video, but you hear the shot, and then you see the dog writhing around on the ground.
Is he dead?
He is not dead. That's the good news. Apparently, he underwent surgery after suffering a shattered jaw as a result of the bullet.
Well, that'll stop you from barking.
That's a tough little, but not from writhing in pain. That's a tough little dog, said the owner. I mean,
What? I mean, let's talk about quick on the trigger. Take a deep breath. It's a Chihuahua. Even if they try to bite, their bark is worse than their bite. They have little tiny baby teeth. They can't. They're not effective.
You're a canine officer.
You have big dogs that are trained to.
What are you
sick 'em.
talking? What are you doing? And also, here's an idea.
Oh, neighbors describe him as friendly and sweet, and all the kids on the block love that dog.
I mean, I don't understand even pulling the gun out in the first. It's a Chihuahua. Here's the other thing, sir. Please control your dog. I mean, I got to tell you.
Now that you're a dog owner,
Respect, great respect for law enforcement, but stuff like this, I mean, it just drives you crazy because it's just such bad judgment calls, and you have to be better than the average bear when you're law enforcement. I mean, you are being held to a higher standard because you're a conflict resolver, not a conflict escalator. If somebody shot my dog,
yeah,
I would lose my mind. I mean,
I would attack.
I would lose my mind. I'm glad I wasn't in the situation that Mr. Kennedy was with that officer because, I mean, he got properly upset as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
but what in God's name?
And
no.
also, too,
I'm glad he got fired post haste. At least the department took the right action.
Yeah, so not only are they performing surgery for the shattered jaw, but they're also removing bone that traveled to the dog's stomach because of the shot that was fired.
Tough little dog.
Yes.
Not tough enough to shoot, though, to stop him.
It's just like, what do you got? What else you got?
All right, now let's end on a good animal story.
All right, what do you have?
Working from home has plenty of perks.
This is funny.
But you lose the camaraderie of an office.
Yeah, you sure do.
For distribution sales manager Michael Reeg from Georgia, his dog Mika is a real asset when he's busy working away in his home office. Has helped ease his transition to telecommuting, and so much so, create an office atmosphere, that Mika has been named Employee of the Month at the Reeg household for 3 months running, complete with plaques and his picture posted on his office wall.
And it says Employee of the Quarter, Southeastern Sales Center. But guess what? There's another dog in the family.
Yeah.
Her name's Kaya, and never has gotten Employee of the Month because this dog is reportedly much more of a lady of leisure.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't stick with the dad, if you know what I mean.
One of the dangers of working from home, you get very lonely.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up our discussion of Ed Burke's indictment and get your reaction to this question. Borrowing from Cassius, is the fault not in our stars, dear Brutus, but in ourselves with respect to Chicago's political culture at 8:38.
And later, another edition of Why Dan Proft is Single. But first, into the newsroom we go.
Because I quote Shakespeare.
Yeah, here's Mike Scott.
Clouds and 42 degrees. We've had some light rain showers across the area. Now the third longest partial government shutdown in history. Today marks day 17. Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney says President Trump is no longer insisting that wall be made of concrete.
He was willing to agree, and he mentioned this at the Rose Garden press conference, to take a concrete wall off the table.
Mulvaney says the president would settle for a 30-foot barrier of steel. Meantime, the president says an al-Qaeda leader who planned the deadly bombing of the USS Cole has been killed. The president saying Jamal el-Badwi was killed in a U.S.-led airstrike in Yemen on New Year's Day. Law enforcement officials in Texas trying to press charges against a second suspect in the shooting death of 7-year-old Yasmin Barnes. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez saying yesterday that 20-year-old Eric Black has been formally charged with murder. Bears kicker Cody Parkey banged a tipped field goal off the upright and the crossbar with 5 seconds left. Eagles held on for a 16-15 wild-card win in the playoffs here in Chicago. Candidate for Chicago Mayor Toni Preckwinkle trying to distance herself from Alderman Ed Burke after he was charged with attempted extortion last week. In a Twitter posting, the Cook County Board President said overnight she's returning $116,000 raised at a campaign fundraiser that she held at Burke's home last January. Investigators trying to determine what caused a boat fire at the River City Marina in Chicago's South Loop. And Chicago-based United Airlines banning emotional support animals on longer flights. Beginning today, emotional support animals will not be allowed on United flights longer than 8 hours. Blackhawks beat the Penguins 5-3. Nets over the Bulls 117-100. And the news, a service of Discover. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager can always expect one thing from the left.
He feels that marriage equality is bad for straight couples. I've never said that in my life. You know how often things are made up about me by people on the left? Always. That's how often. That is the reason that they can be at peace with what they believe, because they make up things that they oppose.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank. I'd like to thank our customers for selecting Signature as their trusted banking partner to help build their businesses. We started Signature in 2006, and we've had the opportunity to meet so many hardworking Chicagoans. From third-generation family-owned businesses on the west side of Chicago to tech innovators at 1871. Signature Bank is proud to work across many different industries in the city and beyond. As the fastest-growing, independently owned business bank in Chicago, Signature is always welcoming new customers. I'd love to meet you and learn about your business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
Oh, no colds, no flu, lots of energy, just overall well-being. It's just if I stop taking it, I see the difference. You know, I would never stop with these. I would keep them on hand always.
Well, I got more energy for sure. I don't feel the same if I don't take this every day. I think it's improved my life greatly because I was feeling real sluggish before, sluggish and tired. I had like this brain fog. It's all gone now. I've been taking this stuff, and I feel like I have the energy of an 18-year-old with the looks of a 30-year-old, and I'm 50. It's crazy. This stuff is crazy. I love it.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 8:37. Check on the roads now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Telemonti.
On the inbound Kennedy, traffic is jammed. Lawrence to the Burn Circle. It is an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 54 minutes from Montrose, 50 in the Express. Outbound, 44 minutes to O'Hare. Eden to Spawn inbound. Outbound, 42 minutes to Lake Cook. Eisenhower, 55 minutes, 390 to downtown. 35 from Manheim. Outbound, 57 to 390. Northbound I-55 is a mess. Weber to past Lamont Road. Crash to the right lane. Hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Just 42 minutes. Tri-State outbound, hour and 8 minutes, 355. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Veterans Memorial got a jam. The Mountain Toll to 75th, the crash. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Rain ends by the early afternoon, then clouds and sun. Breezy and not as cool, high 53. Currently 42. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Townstone Financial. Visiting townstone.com for a home refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgage is the smart choice.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
I just watched that video of the Chihuahua getting shot. I'm not happy either.
Out of my mind.
Well, they should charge the police officer or the sheriff's deputy was fired, but he should be charged with a crime. Animal cruelty. Lock him up. Lock him up.
No one's above the law, no question. I mean, if that had been a neighbor to neighbor, and again, you expect better from a canine officer. Look, I agree. I mean,
he should pay for his medical bills.
If you don't,
veterinarian bills.
If you want to make your own judgment call, just we will post it. Go take a look at yourself. But we've got to switch gears and make a decision on whether we should impose capital punishment on Ed Burke. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Ed Burke under indictment and offered this message of good tidings to all of his friends and supporters and extortion victims on Facebook, of all places. Ed Burke's discovered Facebook. Never too old to learn.
By now, I'm certain that you've learned of yesterday's events. I want you, my friends and supporters, to know that I fully intend to seek re-election. And I am hopeful that you and my many friends will continue to do the work you've already been doing. I appreciate your help and your support, and I want you to know that my family and I want you and your family to have a healthy and wonderful new year. May God bless you and your families.
Well, golly gee, thanks, Uncle Ed.
Is he sending us Christmas cards too?
Here's the question though. Ed Burke's indicted. Say he gets convicted on the extortion charges.
Yeah.
There's a lot of belief that something's going to change in Chicago. You've got 8 months of wiretaps. You got 9,500 conversations, most of which we'll probably never hear, just like we didn't hear the Blago wiretaps, those conversations. Do you think anything will change in Chicago if Ed Burke is indicted and is convicted and sent to prison?
Do you think anything will change if he doesn't win re-election? He's still, he stepped down as chairman of the finance committee, but
even less.
But he's not stepping down as an alderman, which are all the candidates, Tony Preckwinkle leading the charge, say he should step down.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. do you believe anything will change?
Also, do you believe that he's been doing this for years and this is just the first time he got caught?
I mean, of course. I mean,
it's 50 years. He's had a half a century in power to do this.
And to that point.
Did his wife know, who's an Illinois Supreme Court justice?
Oh, sure, of course, Ann
Well, I
Burke.
wonder how things are at home, Dan. I don't know if it was a good weekend for the couple.
Well, you can ask her if you see her out in public. She's easy to spot. She's the one who drives a Bentley with an Illinois State Supreme Court plate on it.
Ouch. Let's draw attention to ourselves.
So the interesting thing about 50 years of doing this and what it speaks to about Chicago's political culture, the kleptocracy. ChicagoCityWire.com, we looked at donors to Burke. We know who some of the recipients are, including those Republicans who've now gone mute. They love to go after Madigan. Why nothing on Burke? Jim Durkin, recipient of campaign donations. Dan Cronin, Republican DuPage County chairman, recipient of Burke campaign donations. All those Republicans like Pat Brady who were at Burke's Christmas party, actually a donor to Ed Burke's campaign fund. Pat Brady, former state Republican Party chairman. Where's the hue and cry from Republicans? Interesting. Here's the thing, though, the donors. 60 top individual donors, including lobbyists, liquor store owners, billionaires, and workers' comp lawyers, have given Burke a total of $965,000 since 1999. So $965,000 over 20 years, you know, in the scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. It's not like he's getting big six-figure donations. Here's what's actually happening. What's actually happening is it's wetting your beak across your entire client pool, across every transaction in your ward and outside of your ward, where you can shake people down because they need something from the city council. So that's the thing. So that you think that why would he go after this Burger King franchise owner for small potatoes, permit expediting fees, and whatnot? Because that's his business.
Well, yeah,
That's
and
his
he yanked
business.
the permits once they didn't use his as tax firm company, and then he shook them down for $10,000 to donate to Tony Preckwinkle's Cook County Board Presidency campaign.
Right, and you say, well, this is all
win
chump.
anyway.
This is all chump change.
Right, it's not.
It's chump change until you realize you spread that over 50 years, and thousands of business owners and other clients. Boy, you really got a business on your hands, don't you?
Do you think more people will come forward now? Like, you know what, he shook me down too.
Well, the only reason that that he's under indictment is because this Burger King owner wouldn't go along with the program.
Because the Burger King owner didn't. He wanted to have it his way.
Have it your way.
Except this is not funny.
No,
the
this
Burger
isn't
King
funny.
owner didn't go along, and that's the difference. Because most people go path of least resistance. This is the way it is. I'll tithe to the feudal lord, and then I'll be able to get on my way and get my business up and running, do whatever I need, whatever I'm soliciting the city to approve.
Just wanted a new driveway and some remodeling.
But I just go back.
It's so ridiculous.
Let me suggest something in answer to my own question. As to, do you think anything changes? Did anything change when Governors Ryan and Blagojevich went to prison in successive gubernatorial regimes? Did anything change in Illinois' political culture in the last 20 years?
No.
No. You think anything's going to change if Ed Burke goes to prison? No.
But you know what? The people in his ward could wake up and not vote for him in 7 weeks from now.
How are the people?
That could be a start, don't you think? Anything?
I mean, the people in the 14th Ward, are they any different than most of the rest of the Chicago electorate? Chicago is a city that revolts against a sugary drink tax, but is blithely indifferent to the endemic extortion that propagates the feudal system of governance here. So, hey, I'm happy to be a serf is what we say, so long as you don't increase the cost of my Mountain Dew by 12 cents.
You know, for some reason that hit Mom's home. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
People are going to Indiana to buy pop. For
And
their kids.
what's changed? You think you won anything? Because you got the repeal of the sugary drink tax? Is that what victory looks like to you? Is that what paradigm shift looks like to you?
For me, I was just happy that people were engaged, but I want more, like you.
Greg in Rogers Park here in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. Happy New Year to both of you. I was a graduate student at UIC, and Professor Simpson and other professors back in the late 80s and early 90s were bringing out Ed Burke's rise to power and how he was restructuring the finance committee and speaking out against it and writing about it, and nobody ever did anything about it. And for years, all this has been going on. And then at the City Club of Chicago this past year, Mayor Emanuel and others were giving him gifts and saying what a wonderful man he was. And now they're outraged and saying we need to change the structure of power. It's shame on all these people. It's a bunch of hypocrites. They should have done it years ago when this was going on and put this guy out of power. And instead, this guy's done this for over 50 years. I mean, Dick Simpson was bringing up his war chest of like $6 million back in like 1991. And that was extravagant then, and we were asking about that. Nobody did anything. And now everyone's outraged? Come on.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the call, Greg. Well, that's right. That's the whole point, is they understand the electorate is indifferent, so they understand the electorate has no institutional memory, generally speaking. And so if we just wring our hands of Ed Burke and cast him aside, as all the Pauls that have had the relationships Greg was describing for these many decades, if that's what they do, then the electorate will say, oh, look, he's not corrupt because he returned the money to Ed Burke, and he's saying Ed Burke should step down, and he's saying this is a sad day for Chicago. And so that's it. Okay, fine, good, moving on. No problem. Nothing to see here. Those independent reformers like Hyde Park's Tony Preckwinkle. It's great. I mean, it certainly calls to mind. It was Larry Bloom. I can't remember who said it, but when Larry Bloom from Hyde Park was... who was a erstwhile reformer, too, when he was indicted and convicted in fraud charges of some sort. Somebody opined, maybe it was Cass, I can't remember. In Chicago, even the reformers go to jail. But what changes? Nothing changes. Because as I referenced at the outset of this segment, the fault, borrowing from Julius Caesar, the fault is not in our stars, it is in ourselves. It's not fate. It's decisions that we make in Chicago, what we choose to tolerate. And will any of that change when Burke goes away? Well, look at all the candidates for mayor. Do you see any change on the horizon? In your ward with your aldermen? At the state level?
I've got so many mimbos running in my ward, 47th ward. They came to my door like, do you realize Maya Pawar's not running again? I'm like, well, yeah, no blank. Yeah, what do you have?
He's running for treasurer. So what? What's the difference? City treasurer.
There's so many people chomping at the bit to have this popularity position. Like, who's going to be our next homecoming king of Wrigleyville?
And obviously, all the statewide office holders are all Chicago Democrat potentates and House Speaker and Senate President. So, what changes on the horizon exactly? And who's demanding any? Paul in Plainfield, John Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, so, I remember reading a story, and John Cass talking about it regularly, that Michael Madigan doesn't own a cell phone. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if he's confirming his decision for not owning a cell phone today after Ed Burke's wiretap.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the call, Paul. And I'll tell you what, I would trade a Ed Burke conviction for the disclosure of all those 9,500 conversations over the last 8 months.
Okay.
Because the real play, if you're going to try to undo the crony closed network in Chicago, is to expose everybody, bring them out of the shadows into the sunlight. Ed Burke's conviction for a couple years doesn't mean a darn thing. Jeff in Dundee.
Hi, Dan, Amy. Say, you were mentioning, that death penalty for Alderman Burke.
No.
It's not too far from the truth, because at his age, if he's convicted and sentenced the same as Blagojevich,
No way. Won't happen.
Yeah, well, here, you do hang up a body bag in the courtroom or in the interrogation room, and then you say, listen, you can either have this or you cooperate with us and spill the beans on everybody else that's down there that's corrupt to the core.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. I mean, I'd love for Ed Burke to roll on people and take others down with him. I doubt that happens, but
it would be spectacular.
That'd be great. But I mean, Ed Burke is facing a couple of charges. Remember, Blagojevich is facing some 24. If he gets convicted on this or he pleads out, it'll be a Jesse Jackson-esque sentence, a couple of years. He'll
In a
do the
nice
time.
federal prison.
Yeah, and then he'll lose his law license, but then maybe he can go clerk for his wife Ann at the state Supreme Court after that. Michael in Oak Forest. Hello, you're on.
Yeah, I wonder what if Alderman Burke is going to lose his security detail / chauffeur.
He's going to upgrade to a bigger one. Thanks for the call, Michael. He's going to have a whole prison full of security guards.
Well,
and
is his
detail.
replacement Pat O'Connor? Did he take his security detail? I'm still waiting to see that
That's a good question.
when they drop off because he might not demand one or need one. Burke felt for some reason he needed one. Well, why is that? Maybe because some people threatened him because they wouldn't give him campaign contributions.
He didn't need a security detail. It's absurd. These
Four-man security
details.
detail. Four-man security detail. It's so stupid. It's a waste of taxpayer money.
Waste of taxpayer
going after
money.
that guy.
It's just about everything the city of Chicago does. I don't think anything is going to change until you have some sort of borderline cataclysmic event. Pension funds fail. Exchanges leave. You really, we have a recession, and the house of cards that is Chicago and the state of Illinois really comes tumbling down, and people really start to feel the effects of all of the bad decisions that have been piling up like so much tinder waiting for a match to go up. I just don't see it. I think that all of this talk about Burke and this is going to be a new day, and you're taking down one of the legalized kingpins. Yeah, that may all well be true. We've done it before, and what's changed? Nothing in my lifetime.
Talking about it's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. And I'm also the host of the IRS Radio Hour.
And I'm Jim Leahy, the co-host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here every Sunday evening at 5 on AM 560.
The Answer. I know you want a local attorney you can look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So today we have a special offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep? Are you trying to give away a pillow?
Great guess, Jim. But no, I want to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night. If you fear the IRS will take away your money, freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, visit your home or job, and now they can take away your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good.
Call attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649, 312-664-6649, and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's actually really been helping my system and my lupus and my gastro problems. So I'm actually very happy with the product.
Acid reflux is pretty much under control. That's why I keep taking it.
I have noticed, I'm sleeping better since I started taking the Balance of Nature and all the other things I'm doing.
I can't believe how wonderful your product is. I listened to you guys on the radio for years and years and years, and I listened to all the testimonials. I go, well, it's probably time to give it a try. And I've been just happy as can be ever since.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
I'm Dan Proft.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
And if you're a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then listen up.
Once again, our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway to raise money for children suffering from poverty in Haiti. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children this year.
And here's how your business can be a part of this. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor, and AM 560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8888. 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. One more time, 847-472-8951.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your